This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, switches to his right, gets to the 20. He's at the 30. Needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline. Breaks the third tackle. Comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown 49ers. 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young, back to throw. In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs. Gets away again. Goes to the 40. Gets away again. To the 35. Cuts back at the 30. To the 20. The 50. The 10. He dies. Touchdown 49ers. 7 Lawrence, 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Gets on third down. He'll take himself for first down. And one. Outside. It's in. Touchdown. There's left hip. Third down. Alex takes the snap. Alex looking. Got it. Post. But it's good. Touchdown. Touchdown 49.
It's second down. Ryan takes the front close to Bryant to the left side. It's Michael. Intercepted. The 49ers pick it. And Navarro Bowman. He's rejection. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for a touchdown. No greater rejection.
Kaepernick gets it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, and we are here to bring you guys a show for you guys, man. But first, I got to start with my guy, Breezy, man. Big dog. What's going on, man? How you been? What's up?
What's good, baby? Oh, man, I just been chilling like a villain. You know what I'm saying? Been good, man. Been good. You know, the one thing I love football, but the one thing I dislike about football is we got to wait a whole freaking week to get back to the next game. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's
you know, I started feeling the same way, man. You know, you start kind of getting antsy. You wanted to hurry up and get here, right?
Yeah, right. And it's just like it didn't go the way we planned, and now it's like, come on, next week we got to redeem ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and I try to keep telling myself, man, look, Mike, you waited months for football to get here. You can wait 6 days. You know what I mean? But
right.
Like, it's like, come on, man. We're better than that. We want to go ahead and show that we're better than that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, Nick, what's going on down there, bub? How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. So my niece obviously just had a baby, and my mom just called like frantic, being all frantic because my niece just lost a shit ton of blood, and blood pressure dropped and needs a blood transfusion now. So she's not doing so well. So, you know, let's keep her in our prayers and, you know, hopefully get that all stuff situated. But that was a frantic call for my mom. So I apologize for jumping off like that, guys. But yeah, so.
No, anyway. But family first. And if you got to go, keep that phone on. Like,
it's right here. So, you know, thankful for, you know, becoming a great uncle again. 8 pounds, 11 ounces, 22.5 inches long. So Sophia is her name. So, but you know, right now I'm thinking about my niece, obviously. And yeah, so let's talk some Niner football.
Yeah. So this show is dedicated to the faithful. And what we're going to do here, we're going to open up the phone lines just right away, just straight up the gate. We don't have a ton of topics. I'm sure stuff will come up in conversation, but what we want you guys to do is this, right? Do you want to go through the formalities? Do you guys just want to jump right into the?
Let's get right into the calls, man. I know they've been wanting to talk all week long, man, you know, and let's hear what they got to say today.
So what we want you guys to do is text the phone number. All right, let me put this in the message here. So we want you guys to text the phone number, one of 3 things. The first thing is call. Okay, so if you guys want us to give you a call, text the word call and we will give you a call. The other thing is video. If you want to appear on video, we will send you a link where you can join us on video. Or just text your message. Some people don't want to speak on the air. Some people don't want to be seen, and that's all fine also, but we want everyone represented here today. So just text us one of those 2 things. call or video. And then if you don't want to do either one of those, you can just go ahead and just give it to us through the text message, and we will happily read your messages on the air. So the number is going across the bottom of the screen there. It is 628-888-3443. That is the Nothing But Niners hotline. So you guys can make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text. And there's a lot to discuss, man. The DBs are all in kind of trouble and influx, right? Think about this for a second, right? Between Richard Sherman and whoever's replacing him, all right, the offensive linemen that are swapping places, maybe three, because you don't know if one's moving or not. The different wide receivers that are coming in here, one being on IR. This team is going to run out 6 different faces than what we had in last week's game. And it's going to be something to keep an eye on. I think this is going to be a lot more. Oh, and I forgot, George Kittle's out of the lineup now. So even with the 6 more faces, we might not see a new tight end, but we're going to see more of a tight end. So I wanted to ask you guys this question while we're waiting for the text messages and the phone calls to come in. Well, not phone calls. We want you guys to send us a text message. Don't call the line. Just shoot us a text, and we will call you. But let us know. I want to ask you guys this. What tight end steps up in the absence of George Kittle? And I know we're not on the preview show, but it's something to think about here, man. Who do you guys think is the guy that's going to step up? A lot of people are going to say, Reed. Some people are going to say Dwelly. He's got the history. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts?
I think it's going to be Ross Dwelly. We've seen him before, and we know what he does. We've seen him when Kittle was out. Listen, Ross Dwelly is our Swiss Army knife, okay? If Kyle Juszczyk goes out, he can get in the backfield. When George Kittle comes out, he lines up out there. He blocks, right? And he can catch passes. And where is he mostly a threat? On first down, trying to get first downs and in the red zone. So I really think this guy is going to be, he's not going to put up, 135 yards off of 5 catches or whatnot. But I think he's going to keep the productivity going and the offense flowing. And I think Ross Dwelly is going to be the guy. This is no disrespect to Jordan Reed. I still think Jordan Reed is going to be effective. We just don't know how Kyle Shanahan is going to utilize him. But we do know how Kyle Shanahan probably is going to utilize Ross Dwelly. And he's a Swiss Army knife. So that's the guy I'm looking forward to watching.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I agree with you. I think Ross Dwelly is going to be that guy. But I also wouldn't count out Jordan Reed as in taking up coverages, dictating that coverage on him as well to open up things below and beneath. I also look to see Jordan Reed more in red zone. I've been saying this all year. I think he's going to be that red zone guy. And I think, week 1, we really didn't see it. We saw 10 plays out of him, I believe. And that was the plan going in. Kyle Shanahan basically said, we're going to work him into this offense, right? So, but there's no bigger time right now to work you into an offense when the starting tight end in George Kittle is out. So obviously they have to be a little bit more particular in the way they utilize these guys in the offense this week. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Jordan Reed's going to come out here and get 50, 60 snaps or 50 snaps, right? So, but I do see that he gets anywhere between 15 to 22 snaps maybe this week, probably on the higher end towards 22, as well as Ross Dwelly. Ross Dwelly's been here in this offense a little bit longer, and like you said, Wayne, he's played fullback. He's that Swiss Army knife type of guy. And also look to see Ross Dwelly perform as well. And I think it'll be a benefit from having Jordan Reed on the field as well, taking those coverages.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Listen, this is no disrespect to Jordan Reed. I absolutely love Jordan Reed. I've always liked Jordan Reed. He's a Connecticut guy. I mean, look, of course, he's a guy from my hood. So I'm definitely going to root for a guy from my hood, just like Mike roots for Dante Johnson. But look, check this out. I just think that there's not a lot of film on Dwelly. There's a whole bunch of film on Jordan Reed, right? So I think Kyle Shanahan is going to, let Jordan Reed go out there, run routes, and I think this is where we're going to see Dwelly come up. We're going to see, I think we're going to see our offense with some missing pieces. I think we're going to finally see our offense. We're going to see more motions. We're going to see tight ends lined up in the backfield. We're going to see some end arounds because when we start talking about wide receivers, listen, Brandon Ayuk is good to go. Ben Garland is good to go. These guys practice all week long. All right. So our offense looks like it's getting back intact to do what we do best, and that's run the ball. And that's exactly what the 49ers are going to be looking to do, is run the football. That's exactly what they're going to be looking to do. Now, I know that the Jets have a pretty good, they try to take away the run. That's what they do. I think we spoke before. They're going to try to stack 9 men in the box. Go ahead. I know what Greg Williams is all about. We know that. But they are missing one key guy. He's on a different team. So I think the 49ers are going to figure out a way to establish the run. But to answer the tight end question, I agree with you, Nick. Jordan Reed is definitely going to get more touches, and we're going to see him, get more upside game after game after game. This is Kyle working him back in. Shout out to our boy Callie Young, Breezy, Suge, Mike, Nightstick, Nick, Niner family currently working. Just wanted to show y'all some love. Go Niners. Thank you so much for the contribution, my brother. Man, get through work as quick as you can, man. Stay up, stay safe, stay faithful, baby. Shout out to our boy Callie, man. Yeah, man. So let's talk about the wide receivers, because Mike talked about the tight ends. Unless Mike has someone ready for us. I see him working 2 phones like he on the hotline bling right now. But he didn't come off of mute yet. So listen, question. We went with 4 wide receivers last week. We went with 4 tight ends last week. We're down to tight end. Are we still going to stick with the 4 wide receivers, or are we going to add in the newest edition of the wide receiver package? Who will be the 5th wide receiver on the depth chart? Mr. Mohamed Sanu.
Well, last week we went 4 and 4, right? So obviously, like you said, we're down a tight end. It looks to be those 3, and being able to change. Kyle Shanahan expressed that in his presser, right? And he said, obviously if we have 3 guys, it'll be more snaps amongst those guys. Without 4, it was hard enough getting snaps and rotating last week with 4 guys up. So obviously that's a benefit to where the guys, not having George Kittle right now, is those other guys will get those additional snaps. Wide receivers last week, right? We kept what?
Oh,
who was 4. Up last week?
We had
Ricky
Pettis,
James, Debo, Pettis.
You said who was up? Debo didn't play.
Not Debo. Richie, Pettis, Bourne, and Trent Taylor.
Correct.
Right. So now Richie's out.
So now you're down a receiver.
Now we get Brandon Ayuk back. And then is the 5th guy going to be Mohamed Sanu?
Correct.
This is what I'm thinking. I don't know if Mohamed Sanu is active this week. And the reason I'm saying this is because, A, he just got there Friday. Right. But with Ben Garland coming back off that ankle injury, do we keep 2 centers this week active in Haranis Grasu and Ben Garland? In case something happens to Ben Garland, Haranis Grasu can go ahead and play in. So do I see a 5th receiver this week? Probably not. I think we go 4 receivers again, but an additional lineman this week as well. But then again, with the rules of the practice squad, if you bring up an offensive lineman, you can add an additional player. So I'm going to stick with Mohamed Sanu not playing this week, but playing next week against the New York Giants. I'm going to say we keep an extra lineman this week with Ben Garland being active and the ability to have Haranis Grasu there as a backup plan in case Garland doesn't go as planned with that ankle.
I don't think they go 2 centers. I think they have I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I was going to catch up on some of these texts. I'm working, so I had a lot hit me all at one time also, so I apologize about that.
Oh, let's go. We
definitely got some people hitting us up. This one is from 951. He says, "Hi, it's Lewis from Cali. My question is, why is Shanahan's offense play so predictable on the goal line stand?"
Wow.
Stevie Wonder knew what was
he threw
Stevie
joint up in
it was going up the gut with all that speed. Why not run it to the outside? All you need is 1 yard. Was the outcome who have been all right, so let's just tackle that question there. I mean, thank you, Lewis, for the question. Why up the middle with the speed guy? That's the question that a lot of people were asking at the moment it happened. You have George Kittle on the left, you have Trent Williams on the left. You have a guy who runs to the outside better. and you run it up the middle. And then it's also up the middle where you had the most trouble in the last couple of weeks of practice because the center and guards weren't the consistent linemen. So why not run it outside? Do you think Shanahan outsmarted himself, guys?
Is that the question? Did he outsmart himself?
Well, I mean, the question is why is it so predictable down there?
Okay. You want to go first?
Nope.
Well, look, we all know that at times Shanahan can just become a blah creator, right? He won't use any creativity. That was simply ground and pound football. The issue is, I guess my question to Kyle will be what Mike asked, like, why use the speed back when you can use a power back? You can use your quarterback. It's closer, right? So why use the speed guy? You know, if you go back and rewatch the play, it was supposed to work. Like, it was supposed to work, but people fell down like some dominoes and ended up knocking each other over, and they couldn't get the initial push. And I know many of us wanted, I tweeted, I said, hey, Mostert's got to score. And he does. All you had to do is stretch the daggone ball out over the goal line. But if you go back and rewatch it, the way they were grabbing his arms, he necessarily had to cover that joint with two because it would have been a fumble, and who knows what would have happened after that. So, I don't know why his creativity lacks on the goal line. Probably because it was the first game, because we've seen him be creative on the goal line before. Like, we've seen him try with the fullback, didn't work. We've seen the quarterback sneak be successful. So I just think it was first game. I'm not going to give you no creativity down there. I'm not going to put nothing on film for these divisional rivals to catch. And if we get in, we get in. If not, our defense should be able to stop them because they're on the one. I think that's what it was. Nick?
The question is Kyle Shanahan predictable at the goal line? If you bring in Jeff Wilson Jr., it's predictable.
Oh,
it's predictable because Jeff Wilson Jr. is a powerhouse type guy, right? And you know that we feed him the ball at the one to be able to bounce it in, right? Or pounce it in. So bringing Jeff Wilson Jr. in is the predictable part of it. When you have a Mostert out there or a Tevin Coleman, they can run inside or outside as well as sweep out to be able to receive a pass. So predictable? No. That's to answer the question. I don't think it's predictable. And that's the reason why. If you change what you're doing the entire game and bring one guy in at goal line, you're saying, hey, we're basically going to run here. And that's what I think about when I think, because Jeff Wilson Jr., while he had a great catch against Arizona and snuck out of the backfield on the same play that Raheem Mostert scored on in that game, bringing in a Jeff Wilson Jr. makes you predictable. So, the only thing it could be is look, if you're not going to hand it off, you make it seem, you get a play action up the middle with Jeff Wilson Jr. to where you can roll out and throw the ball. But it also depends on who was on the field and your comfortability level with them as well in that position. So I think predictability, I guess that's the word, being predictable, would be bringing Jeff Wilson Jr. in. So I don't think it's predictable.
Nick with a solid answer, man. Look at you. I like that. Nick digging a little deeper today. I agree with everything you said because I was watching it and I thought it was going to be a run play. I didn't think they were going to run most of it up the gut, though. I did not think that was going to happen. I mean, it caught me off guard. And, like I said, it's because of knowing that the A gaps were rough this year in all offseason because of the center and the guard exchanges, right? And knowing that most of the outside guy, the guy with speed, can get to the edge and turn a negative 2-yard play into a 6-yard positive play, right? Like, that's what Mostert does well. You got Kittle and Williams on the side. Like, I knew they were going that way. He went up the middle. It didn't work. So I didn't think it was predictable. You're on mute. Oh, he's gone.
Hit the wrong button. Technically, it did work because it technically should have been a touchdown. But, they
didn't call it a touchdown. No.
Right. They didn't call it a touchdown. But no, I agree with you guys. Like I said, wasn't sure, you didn't think that he was going to run the ball up the middle. Right. So, and that's where it's not predictable to me because with Mostert on the field, you can do all of that. You can run up the middle, you can run outside zone, you can run sweeps, you can run, basically flats and things like that. So keeping your same people in there that you keep the entire game and different looks is not being predictable because you don't know what's coming.
Agreed.
I like it. Let's bring my man Kev in here, man. Kev, long time no see. What's going on, big dog?
What's good,
man? What's happening? Huh?
What's happening, baby?
The Temptations broke up, baby. This show, boys, Lane, Nick, Mike, Wayne, what's happening?
What's good, baby?
Kev, what's going on, baby?
What's going on, man? I see I jumped in. You talking about that 4-0 we got at the goal line. Man. My question is, why we running behind the rookie tight end, though?
Right. See, right. Well, I mean, he technically slipped, though, Kev. His footing slipped, which caused him to bump into Trent Williams, which caused Trent Williams to bump into the next person. And the next thing you know, it was just like a domino effect, and he just couldn't fall forward right. So
hey, we scored here. We win that game, baby.
Yeah, if that was a score, we would have been at what, 17-3, 17. Yeah, it would have been different. 17-0.
Big difference. Yeah, man. We have another comment here from the 613. This one says,
613. Sorry.
Hope the weekend is treating you right. Here's my question. With Kittle out, but the injection of power in our wide receiving group, should we still be acting like we are a subpar team? So a lot of people are saying, oh, look at these injuries, and woe is me, and woe is us, and we were bad last week. We're going to be worse now because George isn't here. Should we be feeling that way? I mean, we got Brandon Ayuk coming back. I think that after the dust settled, people got a chance to review some tape and see that the receivers actually weren't as bad as the score or their stats predicted, right, or showed. So should we be feeling like we're subpar offense?
Man,
no.
It was eyes open all game. I mean, y'all saw the game. We saw the game. And I'm not going to make this a bad Jimmy G event because that's never what it is. And I keep hearing people saying, well, Jimmy don't have confidence in receivers. Personally, I don't think Jimmy got the confidence within himself right now. For whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? So for whatever reason, he's not back yet. I mean, he made some great throws, though. He had you check down the sideline. That was amazing. But then he turned around and, miss everybody. So I don't know, man. I don't know if he's seeing ghosts, like I said in the video. I don't know if he needs contacts out there. But personally, man, it was guys open. And people keep saying, well, it was no preseason. The off-season was crazy. Everybody had the same excuse. You feel me? So I just think Jimmy needs to go ahead, settle down, and start being more good Jimmy versus bad Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? I think we would be okay. Because he can ball. It's not like he's been trashed the whole time he's been here. Jimmy he's balled before. You know what I'm saying? So the receivers have gotten open. It just he come out reads too fast or he don't see him. So how you fix that? I don't know.
What are your guys' thoughts, man? Is this offense subpar? Should the faithful be acting like something's wrong?
I wouldn't say the offense is subpar, but there could be something wrong, right? But that doesn't mean it's subpar. Listen, man, it was the first game of the season, and they just not clicking it. It's just not clicking. And we all know once Jimmy G does settle down, which is what Kevin said he needs to do, once he settles down and the offense starts clicking, it's a different type of offense. Listen, I said on Tuesday's show, I compared Jimmy G to Steve Young. I said that. I said Steve Young in the beginning, though, not the Steve Young that became Steve Young. I said that. Who went on KMBR and spoke about Jimmy G? Am I a motherfucking genius?
Jeff Garcia.
No, it wasn't Jeff Garcia, but it was Steve Young. And Steve Young said Jimmy G is going to be okay. he has to slow down. He is rushing his progressions. That's exactly what he saw. He's not giving time for his receivers to get open because he feels like he has to make the throw. And that's what we saw in game 1. We might see some of that in game 2. But come weeks 4, 5, 6, you're going to see the Jimmy G that you always wanted. So are we a subpar offense? To answer the question, no. Do we have some issues? Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's some issues. But it has to do with the offense as a whole. And it kind of starts with the guy running the stuff, running the plays. Right. Not the coach, but, quarterback.
Look, that's all fine and dandy, right? And everybody wants to talk about subpar and subpar Jimmy and subpar offensive line and all these other things. Look at Kyle Shanahan's history as a head coach in his tenure. We have never scored over 17 points in week 1 his entire tenure as a head coach.
It's been vanilla like a motherfucker, yo.
Right? So, look, on top of that, we scored 20 points this week. So we've scored the most points in week 1 than we have in Kyle Shanahan's entire tenure, right? Those issues go to flip-flopping offensive linemen all week, pretty much the last half of camp, blocking abilities, communication, even though there's no crowd and things like that. I'm not blaming on loudness of communication, but I mean communication as in communicating with each other. We know how much it messes up a guy when you're used to playing with somebody and knowing their tendencies on what they do in certain types of things to where you got new guys, right? Now, look, I already said it. Mike McGlinchey didn't play a game, right? Daniel Brunskill didn't play a good game.
Yeah, they're right.
Right? That whole right side of the offense, Haranis Grasu had some good plays and he had some bad plays, right? So, look, we get Ben Garland back. Daniel Brunskill hopefully bounces back, and we all hope Mike McGlinchey bounces back as well. And, look, subpar for this offense, it's rust, guys. There's no preseason. This should be – look, I'm not going to say that it should be with every NFL team because some NFL teams went out there and balled, right? But I'm going to fall back to what Kyle Shanahan is in week 1 and what I've known him to be as week 1 in his entirety and his tenure as a head coach. The offense doesn't move the ball well in weeks 1 through 3. That's just the way it is. They hope that the defense can hold less than 17 points and they squeak out a win. This is what Kyle Shanahan's offense is. Now, that could be, obviously, we're down receivers. George Kittle was hurt, played an entire half hurt. New tight ends on this team, obviously, in Charlie Warner and Ross Dwelly. You're getting the mix of Jerick McKinnon back. He's trying to fill back into this role. Raheem Mostert, the switching out, the offensive line. There were a ton of things that you could look at in week 1 to say why we weren't successful offensively, right? Now, Jimmy Garoppolo as well, like we said, he made some good throws. He made some poor throws. A lot of throws were high. A lot of throws were off position, right? This is all timing. That's what it is. It'll all come. It'll all come.
All right. We got a call that we have to make here. Let me pull it up here. So, caller, I told you that you would be next and you will be ready. Well, hopefully you're ready. Let me hold on one more second here. Let me get this pulled up. And shit.
All
right. It's done. Send. And back to text now. All right, caller, here we go.
Hit it.
All right, I'm gonna turn the. Hey, make sure your volume's down, man. Make sure you don't have the TV on the background. Hello,
hey, Mike.
Hey, who we speaking to?
This is Spy Nick Danger, Nick in Los Angeles.
LA, baby, big city of dreams.
What, sir? You know what? I'm representing. I'm a Ram hater.
Gotta be. All right, so listen, man, the floor is yours for 2 minutes. You can reflect on the past game. You can sound off on the upcoming game, whatever it is that you want to do, man. The floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to start off with something that's been rattling around in my head, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Can you name me 2 games where Jimmy G has gone back-to-back and been bad? Because when I look back at his short history with the Niners, he may have had 1 bad game, but he almost always follows it up with a very solid, if not great game. I mean, remember, he rattled off 5 straight when he first got here. We didn't even know the playbook.
And he had a lot of bad players that he was throwing to at that time.
Super Bowl and NFC Championship.
I don't think the
Yeah,
NFC
but how much
Championship-
opportunity did he get in the Green Bay game against Green Bay in the NFC Championship? They didn't even let him throw.
Yeah, I
mean, it's one thing if
he
you give it like the Vikings game, he played bad, right? He threw a lot of questionable throws over the middle to tight ends, right? Where they could have been picked off. That was what Chris Collinsworth and everybody was going off about. But anyway, so my point is this. I think if you look back, you'll find that Jimmy G almost always bounces back from a bad game. So I think we're going to see a solid game out of him. Now, whether or not he has enough weapons, whether or not Kyle schemes these guys open, or if he's going to have time in the pocket against that defense, that I don't know. But I think Jimmy's going to have a solid game. Or we will see the lasting effects of that Super Bowl. We'll see that maybe he has been shook a little bit by it. So that was my first comment. Now, my other comment that nobody seems to be talking about is Kyle and John made a decision in training camp. They could have had, 90 guys or 80 guys? And they chose to go 80 rather than 90 because they figured, it'll be less people to deal with because of COVID. But what happened is some of those guys got hurt out of the 80s. So now we only went into camp with 77, and all those 77 had to pick up the extra reps that 90 guys could have handled. So everybody started getting hurt, pulling hamstrings, all these soft tissue injuries. I think that one decision cost us Ayuk. It cost us how many other guys have had soft tissue injuries? Half our practice squad is injured. Yeah. So that one decision, we always think of this organization as, we're smart, we're cutting edge, but we knew we had trouble with our the guys who support our athletes, the maintenance, the health and maintenance team. Right? We just replaced them all, right? But we replaced them with a group who's used to dealing with hockey players. Why wouldn't you go out and get a sports medicine team that is familiar with football players? It's just crazy to me. But again, you can't question our Niners. You got to be faithful. But so those are my first two gut comments about where we're at this week. I do think we're going to bounce back. By the way, our team does seem to be more focused when we're on the road, right? They're locked in. They talk about all the benefits of bonding and all that stuff. So, I mean, the bottom line is you got to have faith if you're the faithful, right?
All right. Yeah, I hear you, man.
And by the way, Jimmy did not – obviously he was off last game, right? He was off. He missed a few things that he normally wouldn't miss. But
where you going?
The Cardinals are a tough matchup. They've always been a tough matchup. And we were without a lot of our best weapons. Without Debo. Obviously, Sanders is gone now. Ayuk didn't make it out on the field. So, personally, that throw to Kittle, oh, my God, I couldn't believe how bad of a throw that was to just hang him out to dry like that. Jimmy's got to do better than that. That much we do know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Spynick, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate it. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to all respond to what you're saying. So make sure you tune back in so you can hear the responses. All right.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Wayne Breezy. Thanks, Kev. I just want to thank you guys for everything you do. I've been in every chat since you guys, for the last 2 years, I've been in every chat posting Go Niners and Go NBN. So I'm a big fan. Thanks for having me on.
We really, really appreciate it, man. You stay safe out there, all right?
Appreciate you, boss.
Stay faithful, bro.
Take care.
Keep on hating on those Rams, man. That's what I like to see. All right, so, guys, he gave us a lot to think about, man. He gave us a lot to think about there. You know, this 90-man route. We talked about that when they first made the decision. Why? Nope, don't call. You guys can send the text message if you want us to call. Don't call. Why? You know, we asked that question. Why they do that? Now he's got some points, man. Nick was complaining about these soft muscles. Why? Do ballet, stretch. That was Nick all off season, and then he comes in here. You know, maybe it wouldn't have happened. What are you guys' thoughts on all that?
I mean,
Go ahead, Breezy.
It just it sounds legit, man. When you think in hindsight, like, if we have more players to rotate, it's possible that some of these players wouldn't have got these soft tissue injuries, but we don't know when injuries are going to happen. It's really hard to determine something like that. But I do like the possibility of having more players. So if you have the option to go with a bigger roster to shuffle guys around, especially without a preseason, maybe that's an option that you should take going forward in the future. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'd like to see how many teams actually went with 90 because I don't think there was a lot.
No, there wasn't.
I don't think there was a lot. I think
I was going to say a lot of teams couldn't do it because you have to have, they said, 2 different fields for them to use. Plus, you have to have the field for the kicking team, like the special team. So most teams needed to have 3 fields in order to do that, and a lot of teams couldn't do it. The Niners, though, were a team that had the ability to do that.
Yeah, because where they practice in their stadium, right?
But the thing with this, the whole situation is, and Mike, and I know you were a big fan of keeping that. You were angry when we didn't keep 90, right? And we've talked about that on the show. But you also have to look at it as you don't really have a whole lot of time to prepare and plan for week 1, right? Because of how much stuff was out. So you kind of have it in your head as who you think will kind of make this team. And you have to go from that point and getting ready because there is no, training camp isn't long. You had no OTAs. You had no mini camps. You had just cut the people that you think didn't have a shot. And I understand where you get manpower, but most teams that are successful, and we've been successful with rosters, we don't need a big turnover. Now, if this was his second year in or first year in, and we did a turnover like we did before, I think we would have kept 90. But I think that Kyle Shanahan kind of knew in the gist of who was going to make this team, and he wanted to get those guys out there and start getting ready for week 1 in this training camp and getting these guys ready. Now, while that does put a lot of stress on your team, it also makes sense because of the time that you were lacking or the lack of time that you didn't get in OTAs and mini camps and things like that to work with this team. So you needed to get your team ready for week 1. You're already pressed against time. There's no preseason. You get 4 weeks of training camp, and that's it. 4 weeks is not a lot of time to start implementing a football team, right? So I think that's the reason that we went with 80 was because, okay, we have a gist of these guys, but these guys have a possibility of making this team, like a real good shot of making this team. So let's keep them around and see how they do. And if they do, then we can build our practice squad off these other 80 people. The 80 people that we have other than the 53, we can build a practice squad out of these guys. So that's why I think we didn't keep 90 is because of the lack of time that we had with this team. And as far as Jimmy goes, man, look, Jimmy will bounce back. But I was bad on him. There were a ton of throws that were high. It wasn't just the George Kittle throw. I mean, there was a crazy amount of throws that were high. At least 5 or 6 that I can remember. This isn't a benefit of saying, oh, well, we need taller receivers. This is a benefit of getting – look, I think Jimmy, when he's throwing in the pocket, is really worried about batted passes. I think that is in his head. So I'm going to let you guys talk real quick. My mom's calling, so I'll be right back.
After these messages, he'll be right back.
I can't whistle.
I wasn't going to do the whistle, but yeah, okay. Saturday morning cartoons, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so, I mean, I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that. We have someone to call, and we have someone who wants to join on video, so I actually sent them the link. Let's see if that actually happens.
Let's keep it rolling.
I think that'll be our first faithful joining on video, right?
Yeah, let's keep it rolling. I'll just read George's comment real quick. All NBN represent how to remain faithful so well, but guys, this year ain't looking right.
He feeling some type of way, huh? I mean, I don't think this year looks bad. I don't think this year looks bad. I think that go ahead, Breezy. Let me let you go first. I'm gonna shut up.
I was co-signing. I don't. We had one game, right, that we could have won, we should have won, and we just didn't. So maybe he's talking about more with the injuries, but what year has the 49ers not been plagued with injuries? I mean, we see it every year. I pray daily for us to unscathed and not have injuries, but it just don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, luckily, we haven't had any of those season-ending injuries to certain players that we're hoping for. Some guys are out for the season, like Jalen Hurd or whatnot. But guys, we're pretty much intact. We just have to, weather the storm. So I don't think that the year is that bad, guys. I truly don't. And it's okay if you do, but that's just how I feel. I think the 49ers, what's going to cure some of our anxiety? The win on Sunday, like winning on Sunday. I think that'll help.
All right, let me ask you everything. What was that, Kev?
So winning mostly cures everything.
It does. It does.
I guess it's not. Go ahead, microphone.
I think how we win on Sunday is going to be more important than walking away with a win.
Dude, I don't even think at this point. I don't care how we win. I don't care if we win by a safety, a block punt, a field goal, 17 touch. I don't care. I just think the 49ers need to go on the road and win a game. I know you want to make a statement, but come on, guys. Is this really a statement game to make?
If we only beat this team by a field goal,
who cares, yo? It's still a football team. Guys, it's a football team, guys. We're coming across the United States. It's a football team.
A W is gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? But you, me, them, they, I'm pretty sure we win by 1 point against these Jets. We're like, you beat the Jets by a point. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
That's not gonna be my argument. I'm gonna be we won. On to the Giants.
I mean, but there's gonna be some fans who are like, oh, we lost in week 1. Do we really beat the Jets? It's always something. A majority of these fans is always something. I mean, it is. I mean, let's just go ahead and face it. Always something. It's always something to complain about. You know what
Are you talking about? Are you referring to the media? Because they will throw us under the bus if we win by 1 point. But I think. Well, send me them fans because I'm gonna have a conversation with them. All I'm saying is, look, guys, it shouldn't matter how we win. We're going on the road. We're a band of brothers. Let's just go out here and get this victory. So, because we're gonna be on the road for 2 weeks, so let's get these victories how we could get them. I think the loss on Sunday, I think it humbled a lot of fans. I really do. I think it humbled us. That's cool. Let it go. Let's go. We got to keep the show going.
I was trying to go on the low. I forgot to mute. My bad. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
David, you there?
Yeah, what's up, man? Am I on or what?
You are on live right now. The whole world can hear you. All 227 people are watching.
I appreciate the time, man. You know, I'm our 49ers here, so, I just got a couple things to say real quick. First, my biggest issue right now is with Solid. I just do not know what he is doing on defense. I mean, we have two of the best running quarterbacks in our division, and every time he seems to have an issue stopping these quarterbacks. I mean, every time. It's not just 1 game, 2 games. Every game against every running quarterback, we seem to have these issues. And so I'm just trying to figure out what Fowler is trying to game plan with these running quarterbacks, because obviously it's working. And honestly, I don't think the whole wide 9 thing really works when you're playing against running quarterbacks. It just gives up way too many gaps, and these gaps are just wide open. The A and B gaps are just wide open for these running quarterbacks, and they just look off one guy, they just take off running. And that's what I saw this weekend. It would look like Kyler would look left, D-Hop wasn't open, just take off and go running. And Solid never made any adjustments to take care of that. I mean, it's very concerning when we have these issues against running quarterbacks. I mean, what do y'all think about that?
I sit around and I wonder if we should be trying to play more of a 3-4 front instead of a 4-3 against this team. And the only reason I say that is because I feel like once they get past those front 4, it's fewer people in the back, and it's like just extra yards that they could get. That's just my thought. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know how everyone else feels about it. I mean, I've seen games where we keep them in control also. I don't think a quarterback who has 12 attempts for only 50 yards is like crazy. Like it sounds like a lot, right? But if your offense is barely getting any passes off, and that's what you're doing, then you're not really eating like that.
Yeah. Now, I also thought that if they were going to spy Kyler, they should have used somebody like T. Moore instead of Quan. Quan was playing like Pat Bev out there on the NBA court, just running around trying to look busy, but not actually doing anything. You know? And I just feel like Quan should have not been playing the spy versus, Kyler. It just looked bad. Quan was just in and out of the breaks, just running all over and not really, affecting the team, not affecting the game that much. And I don't know. I think Quan just had a bad game. Hopefully that's just the case, but, it is what it is. I think personally Jimmy's going to bounce back. I mean, everybody likes to say Jimmy's not clutch. Jimmy did lead us back to the fourth, gave us the lead in the fourth quarter after Carter had went up. And Jimmy did lead nice side down. He got the touchdown, took the lead. Unfortunately, the defense didn't hold it, and a lot of our fans seem to forget those moments because in the end, if you take the L, it's automatically Jimmy's fault. I just don't think that's a fair assessment.
Well said, David. We got to let you go because we got a couple of other calls to get to, but we appreciate it, and the guys will reflect on your thoughts, all right?
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Breezy. Thanks, Kev. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for time out, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, he made a great point. And I said that on the Tuesday show. If y'all watch the Tuesday show, go back and watch it. Because we don't ever put the stuff on the defense. The defense couldn't get the ball back to Jimmy. And when they did get it back to Jimmy, just because Jimmy couldn't go ahead and go down the field and lead us to victory, it's all his fault and all the bad throws come out. Because how we won this game, we may still be talking about some of these high throws. George Kittle may not be injured or whatnot. But I'm just saying the defense had a job. They had a job to do, and they couldn't get it done. Whether you want to say it was because of stupid penalty calls or whatnot, they still couldn't get it done. Because Jimmy did lead us down the field and give us the lead to win the game. It's just that we gave the ball back to Kyler Murray, and Jimmy just couldn't do it again. Good point. Whatever. You shake your head all you want. Shake what your mama gave you for all I care.
Look, I agree with you.
Go ahead, Kev. It's harder to hear Kev. I don't know if it's your mic or what, but it's really hard to hear you. That's why people keep talking over you.
All right. Is it any better?
Not really, but go ahead.
No, I'm saying in terms of that wide nine, man, we talked about it on Twitter, me and a couple guys, and me being in DC, I'm like, why not have a spy? And personally, if we're gonna use a spy, I'd rather use Dre than Quan as a spy. Especially if we in nickel. Then three receiver sets, everybody's accounted for. Tarver had a running back. Dre be the spy, on color. I mean, it was a wide nine with all that spacing in there. It's tough, like my man just said. He looks Hopkins. It's up the middle. There's those two A gaps on the counter for. And it just to me, the wide nine versus the mobile quarterbacks is more of a detriment. It hurts them more than it helps us. So I mean, you gotta have some plan for guys like that, man. Put Dre right there in the middle as a spy. I mean, you got two linebackers anyway. You know what I'm saying? So personally, I think that help a lot. But in terms of the scheming, and even the defense we played last week, Quan was kind of erratic last week. I mean, but now it's making me say the whole team was kind of rusty. It wasn't just Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? That the whole team, well, not the whole team, but certain guys did feel like we wanted to foot just like Jimmy did. Quan was one of them. Quan was out there running around like, hey, man, settle your ass. Settle yourself down.
All right. Go ahead, Nick. He's breaking up pretty bad over there. So, Nick, I want to get your thoughts on what was said.
Yeah, I mean, look, I kind of in agreement with Wayne as well. Enough of this, not a lot of this blame goes to the defense for some odd reason, right? And now, obviously, our offense was piss poor, right? Because when you're 2 of 13 or 2 of 12, whatever it was for third down conversions, you're getting your defensive side gassed. And I can't even look at Kev right now because he's just straight frozen, bro. He's just straight frozen. Like, all right, but we don't harp on this defense enough. right? And I talked about this at the halftime show. I talked about it on a show later in the week is the tackling ability. We didn't even talk about how bad the tackling was in this game, right? And I brought up, I know you shake your head, but Quan Alexander had a piss poor game, bro. Like,
I'm not shaking my head about an individual. I'm shaking my head at people trying to say it's the defense's fault.
No. I'm not saying this is the defense, but you gotta give some blame to the defense too. Some. The one drive that won them the game, that's the defense's fault.
So what? That's one drive.
But that's still the drive that won the game for them.
The Niners went like 4 or 5 possessions straight without scoring.
Correct.
That's not on the defense stopped them.
But
those 4 or 5 possessions, the defense did their job.
That's the thing, bro. You can't just blame it on the offense. The defense didn't do its job either. So they're both at fault. You can't just sit here and say the defense is completely perfect and did nothing wrong. They didn't play the game that they should have played. Whether it was D Ford was playing slow, Quan Alexander missing tackles, the slides and hitting the quarterbacks to give us penalties, even though they were close and shouldn't have been penalties, you still shouldn't have been in that predicament. So yes, the defense we had them backed up to the 1 and let them march down 99 yards because of penalties from the defensive side of the field. So you can't just say that it's just the offense. The defense deserves blame also.
Y'all are trying to blame the defense for literally one drive.
That one drive is what meant everything. We lost the game because of that drive.
The team should have scored on one of the other 5 possessions that they did.
But that's what I'm trying to say, Mike. You can't just keep putting it on the offense. Your defense has to do its job too.
Just one, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to sit here and blame the defense either.
The defense gave up 24 points.
So what? No. Your offense that didn't get in from the 1 yard line, the block punt, that's not on the defense. When they recover the ball with goal to go, that's not on the defense. That's not the defense's fault. Your offense not getting in from the 1 yard line, that's your sorry ass offense not showing up.
I agree with you. I agree the offense didn't do its job as well. But you can't sit here and say that we didn't lose this game because of both, offensively and defensively. You can't just put it all on the offense.
Every game is lost by all 3 phases of the team, but you can put more blame on one side than the other. The blame for this loss falls on the shoulders of the offense. It does. The offense had more opportunities and did less with it.
The majority of the blame belongs to the offense when you can't convert and you're only 3 for 12 or 2 for 12 on third down.
That's the offense.
Right? Yes, that's the offense. But you also have a chance to stop the team from winning, and the defense didn't do so and made stupid mistakes.
You wouldn't have had to stop them like that if the offense scored.
Hey, what's the difference, right, in saying that your offense has to score on the 1 and your defense has to stop the offense from getting away from the 1? Like, what's the difference? I feel like it's us really saying the same thing. Like, we on the 1 yard line, as much as we want to sack, that doesn't mean that they come, or a safety, that doesn't mean that they come like that. But we had to get off the field. The defense had one job. And you know what, Mike? And they successfully did it, right? They did it. They did do it. They did it. But there was a penalty. And then after that, there were 2 more penalties. And I think the defense just got flustered and they couldn't make a stop. And then when the offense got the ball back, they couldn't do it. So I think we're all right. I think it's evenly blamed, offense and defense. I just think that they have to work hand in hand. I'm sorry.
We got a quick question here from Omar. He says,
Omar from The Wire?
Yeah, all right. He says,
we can't with you.
Do you think D Ford will be active? And if not, how will our D line rotate throughout the game? I do think he'll be active, though. That's my quick.
That's good, though, because I don't. But I like, or wait. I'm if he is active, I think he'll be limited. I think that's what I should say. I think that's what I meant. We want him healthy too. And the way he looked didn't look like a neck injury, but they're saying that it's a neck injury. So if it's a neck injury, that should be a little something serious, right? I know Salah said it wasn't serious, just a neck injury.
I heard it was just stingers.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Well, yeah, it's just spasms. Yeah. It's just
that's what I meant to say,
spasms stink, though. Those
hurt. Spasms are not fun, bro. So, and a spasm in your neck changes your ability to do a lot of things.
Ooh,
Your arm movement, your walking, your running, your speed, everything. So, but look, the question is D Ford play? And if not, how does this shuffle work? Look, Kerry Hyder came in and played last week, and he didn't do well or didn't do bad.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, I was about to get on you again. I was about to say, wait, whoa.
No, he didn't do bad, right? He played well. So he had a sack, right? The guy that I'm worried about from this game was DJ Jones. He looks slow as hell. I don't know if y'all watched him or not.
There's no comment. Look, this is his week. This is the defensive lineman's
right, but
week.
we're talking about rotation. We're talking about rotation. So I'm talking about defensive line rotation. So Kerry Hyder filled in great. He played well. I think that he could be one of those guys that could be that positional guy like Ronald Blair, right? Play inside, play outside. We talked about this before as into why the team, they wanted to sign Ansah. Obviously, the money wasn't right. They didn't sign him. How does Kerry Hyder fill in here? Do I think Kerry Hyder's on the level of D Ford? No, absolutely not.
Who watching Batman?
Is he in position to be able to take a couple positions or a couple snaps there at that position as well as Eric Armstead? Yeah.
All right, we have more guests in here. Let's get to our guy, man. This is hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna do this.
Is that my man? Yeah!
Let's do it like this and drag him. There it is.
You get the big screen.
What's going on, G?
I just want to say thank you guys very much for letting me on. I know I could have made it easier on you, Mike. I know you're doing 100 different things with all of the texts and calls and everything like that. I know callers want to get in. I just got to chime in on this, man. I side with you right now, Mike. The offense has to do better. And Nick, I know you agree with some of the things that Mike says because he's compelling. He's got some compelling arguments there. And I'm not coming at you, Nick. I wouldn't do that.
You better not. No, I'm just messing around.
I know better than that. But not on the internet, at least.
Right.
Yeah. But anyways, what I basically need to say is that it's just tough right now because our Niners, like they have this hangover. Like they do. We keep wanting to tell ourselves that they don't. That there's all these reasons to be hopeful. And I mean, you guys display the faith better than anybody. But I mean, you guys come out here, you guys read all the reports, listen to all their journalists, you guys dig in all that dirt, and you guys, set up your arguments to see things different ways that we haven't thought about. But there's this hangover, man. At least I don't know. That's the way it's coming from my fan perspective. Because now it's 2 Super Bowls in a row that we went over when we definitely had a win within our grasp, within reach. And I just wanted to say that the offense, it just kills me how Shanahan sometimes. It's just like when we didn't run the ball with Frank Gore in the Super Bowl and we went to the fade passes. I'm just like, I don't know. The call to Mostert, I don't really question. That's fine. I mean, Trent Williams is there. They try to go that way. But like when there's a second down and 1, watch him get the first down rather than take a long pass there. But yet on 3rd and short, he has his receivers running long passes. And that pisses me off. It just pisses me off so much. On 2nd and 1, when you could play fake and you could go over the top, he thinks that, well, everybody does that in the NFL, so I'm going to do something else. I'm just going to grab his first down, get a new set of downs. And then he tries to bust open the creativity on 1st down, which works half the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1st downs, we were killing it. And then it's like, 3rd downs, we were non-existent. You guys realize that we were averaging over 9 yards an attempt in offensive play and didn't convert any 3rd downs until like the 3rd or 4th quarter? You know how crazy that is?
We were over 7 at one point.
Last year we were one of the best.
That is nuts.
I agree with some of the points that you said there, George, and I appreciate seeing you, man. I haven't seen you in a while, man. It's great to see you, and I hope Dad is doing well and the family's doing well as well. But a lot of those plays that we're talking about were also designs that Jimmy Garoppolo missed open receivers on, and meaning that didn't see guys in the deeper ends of the field that were open compared to throwing the check down. So a lot of that blame is to be, like Wayne, you touched on it earlier today when Steve Young came on and said, is Jimmy Garoppolo basically going through his reads too fast and not giving chance for these guys to get open, going bang, 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 and then just drop off, right? So you heard Kyle Shanahan talk about that as well. But this is something that Jimmy Garoppolo has always done, right? There's always been receivers that are open downfield that if he would have just looked the other way instead of having the tunnel vision, if you watch Jimmy Garoppolo throw and break up and get out of the underneath from center or in shotgun, his eyes and his head stays facing one direction.
Yep.
And this is the fact. I don't want to take this back, but this is what Colin Kaepernick used to do, right? Colin Kaepernick would stare the left side of the field down, and if it wasn't there, he'd just take off, right? Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to take off, but this is definitely something that Jimmy Garoppolo needs to get better coached in or whatever it may be, because I came on here and I said, is it tunnel vision? And it seems so when you go back and watch the tape, you look at the New Orleans game, his head was all over the place. You go and watch an Arizona game, and his head is pinned to one side of the field. Like he has a mindset of who he wants to go to and at that moment. So these are things that are fixable, right? And these are things that I believe that Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo will get back on track with. But right now, it does hurt the team because it hurts your efficiency on third down, which backs up Mike's conversation and argument about it's to blame on the offense, right? So, but if you go and you watch the all 22, receivers are open. The next read that is, well, I don't know if it's the next read or not. I'm just going to say the next level behind the drop-off, the receivers are open, and we're not throwing the football there. And this happened 3 or 4 times easily against the Arizona Cardinals. So that's my thought process on that whole thing. I don't know who else wants to chime in on any of that as well. Mike, if you got anything, Wayne, Kev, or even George as well. Go ahead, Wayne. Or go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that.
No, I mean, you're right, Nick. Absolutely right. I know I could have deferred to the other guys, but I'll just say my piece and then move on. So I totally hear what you're saying about Jimmy. There are times where I could just see it. Sometimes the camera gets right in the quarterback's eyes as he's scanning the field before pre-play. He's scanning the field, and his eyes just seem to move like a little bit slow. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else sees that, but I see him reading the defense. And it's not like he's scared. He's not scared at all. He's tremendously brave, through all of the mess that happens once the snap happens. But he seems to, his eyes just move like a little bit. I don't know. They're just not quite rapid, So I could see how he would miss, an open receiver who's running down the field or who has a window that he could be, hitting. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. Hey, look. Hold your head up with Jimmy, man. I think he's going to be fine, guys. Look, he's still learning. He's still in process, progress. And I think he's going to be good to go, man. He has the greatest master in the world teaching him how to, run this type of offense. And I think he's going to be good. I just think it was week 1. That's all. That's how I'm taking it.
And it goes back to like what we said, and then I'm going to let Kev talk real quick because I see he has a point. But it goes back to what we said. The 49ers in week 1 in the tenure of Kyle Shanahan have never really scored more than 17 points. In week 1 games. And this was the first week that we did that. We could have put up a lot more. We could have easily put up 28 points on this Arizona defense, right? And I think it's the rust knocking off, the timing, the not having the receivers. Look, we know Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in Dante Pettis. He's your you're one of your number 1 guys that's out there, right? And this is just saying by facts of what I've seen, right? So it's not about downing Dante Pettis' play or Kendrick Bourne's play or anything like that. But I can bet you money that if that's Deebo Samuel out there instead of Kendrick Bourne, he goes up and tries to make a play on that ball because that's what he's going to do for the quarterback. So, we talked about Kendrick Bourne before and people were blasting me about the whole concept of, well, it's an underthrown ball. Yeah, it's an underthrown ball, but it's a receiver's job to make a quarterback look good, and it's a quarterback's job to make a receiver look good. If it ain't perfect all the time, you got to go up and make a play. That's your job as a receiver. So if that's Deebo Samuel out there, if that's a Jalen Hurd out there, if that's a Jordan Reed, if that's a George Kittle, they go up and try to get that football. And if they come down with it, us Niner fans are praising the hell out of them because they came down with a winning touchdown and they're winning, and it just goes that way. So, look, Jimmy Garoppolo made some bad plays, but we also didn't have a great receiving core out there either. And look, whether Kendrick Bourne was open or not, it was a bad throw. It was off a back foot. It was a bad, piss poor throw. I'm not saying that it was great, but you still got to go up and try to make that ball. You still got to try to catch that football. So, George, man, it's been great. I hope I get to see you sometime this year, man, hopefully. And tell Pops I said what's going on, man. I miss you guys. And it's always nice talking to you guys. And so, yeah, man, appreciate it. It's good to see you, George.
Thanks, Nick. He's on a Mexican beach right now, but I'll let him know.
Hey, let him know, man. Let him know. I appreciate you. All right, Kev, what were you going to say, bud? You're muted? No, you're not muted.
Oh, I'm
There
not?
we go.
Okay, cool. Can you? All right, there you go. Can you hear me better now? All right. In terms of Jimmy, man, like I said, man, some days he's on, some days he's not. Now, I do want to talk about him making reads. Now, there's a play in particular I want to talk about where he had Mostert in the flat. Yes, initially he was covered, but had he sat on him for a minute, he ran right by old boy. And to be honest, I don't think Jimmy trusts his arm sometimes to make the kind of throws necessary to hit the Kendrick Bournes, to hit the Dante Pettis sometimes. Because if you look at it, there's certain type of throws he has to make, and he's like, I'm going to take an easier throw. I mean, so that's just my personal belief that I don't believe he trusts himself in certain situations. But that Mostert play where he ended up not going back to him, had he sat on him or came left and came back right, and then by the time he came back left, he was sitting in his own selling lemonade. You know what I'm saying? So it's just he got more confidence, man, more confidence, and just believe in himself. And I said this the other day, and hopefully, Wayne, you're a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can kind of understand what I'm about to say, and Nick, I'm sure you can too. Jimmy reminds me, because think about it, in 2017 when he came in on that 5-game tear where he was just killing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was playing very free. He wasn't locked into a playbook. Pretty much, hey, man, find open man, do your thing, Jimmy. So I compare that to a musician that can play freehand great, but can't read music.
Okay.
A la, Devin Miles and Drumline. He killing it, you know what I'm saying, playing freehand, but when it comes to read music, he's stuck. So personally, I don't think that he is the cerebral enough type quarterback that Shanahan really would like, but he works with him. So I'm pretty sure you said, Jimmy, go out there and find open man. Just go do your thing. He'd be a lot better off than, okay, these are your reads. I want you to hit him first. If he's not there, go to this. It's almost like he's restricted to a degree. So when he can play freely, I think he's a lot better.
Yeah, that's a really good example. I think being a musician, being both, right? One that wasn't taught, I had to learn how to play myself. You pick up a lot of different tendencies as you go along. You kind of take on styles from others that you kind of like learn to play from and things like that. And then when you go back to learn how to read, I can read music, but because I'm not always consistently reading sheet music in front of me, I'm still going to struggle with it. And the reason why I struggle with it is because I'm so used to playing something or hearing something and playing it. I think Jimmy G, in this particular offense, I think he knows the offense. I think he understands the offense. So I don't think it's the cerebral part. I think it's him going out there and just doing it because like over and over and over and over and over again. I think the more he does it, right. So the more he gets into it, the more he does it. Yes, you're going to see him, making the right reads. Now, what we don't want Jimmy G to lose is his improvisation. That's another thing that some musicians have and some musicians don't. You don't see a lot of improvisation from classical musicians. You see a hell of a lot of improvisation from jazz musicians, right?
Okay.
You don't want him to lose that improvisation. That's your a la Russell Wilson, your a la Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't mean take the joint and scramble for 30, 40, 50 yards. No. That means getting outside the pocket and wait until a guy gets open and then throwing a dart. You had a great analogy. I really loved it, but I just want you to understand, like, sometimes I understand music. I know the theory, right? But because I'm
Mm.
not practicing consistently with the piece of sheet music in front of me, I'm like, ah, man, it's too. Just go give me a song. Let me hear it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna
Right.
play it
Okay.
right
Okay.
too. But
Right.
I think Jimmy got the cerebral part. I just think he needs to be in that offense more and get used to just, you know, look, we got to throw some shade out there to the simple fact that Jimmy doesn't trust some of his playmakers, right? And then there's some that he
Yeah.
absolutely trusts. And I think that is probably why he ain't throwing into those tight windows, because we've seen him do it, right? We've seen him do it. I'm going to read, I think I got a couple of text messages that I want to just read out here. And then we're going to get to a caller. This is my first time with the caller, so hopefully I got everything working properly. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's go.
I like when guys throw me in the fire. You know what I mean? All right, this is hey faithful. This is Mando. All right. So we know Kyle was seeing what was going on out there. Oh, I know where he's going before I even read this. Why not run the ball on the final drive? Hey, Mando, I don't know how to pronounce it, so you could put the phonetic spelling right here. I've been asking this question since last season, why don't we run the ball? That's a good question. Jimmy wasn't sharp, so why not run the ball on the final drive? We had 3 timeouts. Our running backs were the focus of the game plan, right? That being said, the fact that they didn't play up to the potential, but still had a shot to win this game says a lot. So that's the bright spot. That's the bonus. I like that. Good job. They'll fix it. Blowout this week. Go Niners. I don't know if there's going to be a blowout this week, but I definitely think we're going to get a win. What do you guys think about Mondo? He says, why didn't Kyle just run the daggone ball? We had 3 timeouts. If you know your quarterback isn't looking good, then why not go back to what you know is going to work and what got you here?
So is he talking about on that final drive where he
He's
missed
talking
Trent
about
Taylor
on
in the
that
flat?
final drive. That was specifically what he was talking about. Yep.
I would have mixed a run or two in there, just to kind of see, how it went. But historically, they pretty much shut our run game down pretty well, Arizona. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but then again, I think Kyle's kind of stuck between, okay, our running game ain't working very well. Put the keys in the hands of Jimmy. You know what? I think he decided, so you know what, Jimmy, go win the game for us. And he missed, and mind you, he was late to Trent Taylor. I'm like, man, you threw late too. Oh, and on that play, he had Bourne on a fade, butt naked down the right sideline. But he tried to force it to Taylor. But again, I don't want to just pinpoint on Jimmy G's flaws. But what I do want to say, I saw y'all video where y'all talked about the pressures, right? And I don't know if y'all recall this. Kyle Shanahan gave some very telling comments when he said Jimmy made some throws, then he missed some throws, but that's normal. I'm like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know that he gonna make you mad and piss you off. It depends on how the wind is blowing. But just the way he said that, that's normal for him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he was as happy to say it as he wanted to be. But he let you know, look, that's what you get from Jimmy. He gonna make some throws, he gonna miss some throws.
Look, that's every quarterback in the league.
No, you're right. But the way he said it was like that's Jimmy.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, he sees the tape. I've watched the tape. Guys are open, right? So look, I don't agree with you on the force throw to Trent Taylor, because if Trent Taylor doesn't get held up at the top of that route, he's open. He got held up as well on that route as well. Coming back, he took a certain hitch that held him to a little bit longer, and Jimmy let go of the ball a little bit late. So it's on both the receiver and the quarterback there. So I'm not going to put the blame on Jimmy Garoppolo there just in that aspect. But like you said, there are other guys that are down the field that are open, right? But that play right there, even the play with George Kittle, right, for the first down, instead we got a field goal on the first drive, right? The ball, George Kittle cut the route back and wasn't even past the line of gain.
Oh, the sticks. Okay.
So
okay.
He came in, instead of sitting in the zone a little bit deeper, he sat short. But people aren't talking about that. So he didn't get to the right spot where the ball should have been thrown. And Jimmy made the throw to George Kittle, and George Kittle was short, and we ended up kicking a field goal there, right? So look, so the fact of the matter is is there's blame to be placed all around the football field. And,
right.
And the crying fans and stuff about trade Jimmy, he's making this much, blah, blah, blah.
I never said that.
No, not you, not you.
Right.
I'm just talking about the social world of Jimmy Garoppolo. So, look, Jimmy will get it right. Now, there are things that he needs to get better on, right? And there are things that he needs to fix. And I'm sure he knows what those things are. And I'm sure that he is going to work and try to get better at that. There's no better week than this week right now to get on that confidence level and get your confidence back, right? We know the Arizona Cardinals played us hard both times last year. Emmanuel Sanders was a beast in that one game, and it is a reason that we, became victorious over the Arizona Cardinals in the one game. He had 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, I believe it was, or 1 touchdown. But he played like really, really great. But look, the routes, right? So the Dante Pettis route, right, where he was open, the ball was thrown in a good place. Yeah. But Dante Pettis got held up in his route. And when Kyle Shanahan said that, I went back and rewatched the tape, and you can physically see him get held up in the route, which affected him from getting to where the ball was thrown. Jimmy made the throw to where it was. Now, Kyle Shanahan also said, I'd like to see the receiver make a little bit more effort to get the football. The same thing he said with Kendrick Bourne on the underthrown pass in the end zone. So this is where it is. Everybody's just criticizing Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle, but there's other blame to be placed on this entire team and the rust that needs to be knocked off with these guys. Now, this is a perfect week and perfect stretch of schedule to get on track between the Jets, the Giants, the Dolphins, and the Eagles. Yeah. Right? So those are 4 games that are winnable games that could easily make us 5-1. And y'all ain't whining about Jimmy Garoppolo anymore and what this team is doing because of what they've done. Now, this is a perfect stretch in the game in the season to build confidence for these guys, get them on the right foot, and move forward. It's 1 week, guys. It's 1 week.
That's it.
And we're on to the Jets.
Now, here's a question I want to ask people. I really wonder.
Before we get to that, we got some other guys in here. I see Indian.
We got a couple of guys in here. We got IB.
Yeah, let's
bring our boy Nick.
Let's bring IB in here real quick. IB got the whole podcast platform up over there, like he's rocking out. What's going on, baby?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what go on, my youth? What go on? What go on? Yeah,
yeah, we got you.
I sound good. I sound good. I had to plug in to the.
Yeah, you good, man. You sound real good.
Well, what's good? What's good? I'm glad to be on. Glad to be on. Big fan of the show. You already know, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. So what are your thoughts on heading into this week?
Week 2, week 1, I ain't gonna lie. I was surprised. I felt kind of like Tony did throughout the week. I couldn't understand the schemes. I couldn't understand a lot of the execution. And this week, I'm hoping for more execution, to be honest with you. I'm hoping to see Jimmy a little bit more familiar. What I seen in the cat in the background. Jimmy play like that, man. It seems like he's scared of his legs. Like he's trying to feel himself out there. And I don't want to see that the first week. So this week, I would prefer to see more of the RPOs that we saw last year. I want to see Jimmy, kind of dishing off. I did like the addition of Jet McKinnon. I think that takes a little bit off of Mostert, and if McKinnon dynamic that we've been expecting from McKinnon, plus them little banana routes and things like that. I think he's a little bit more fluent than some of the other backs that we had. But I want to see our defense step up, man. Our defense, like Nick said, I disagree to an extent. I believe Quan was out there. I believe Quan could have made a ton of tackles had he put himself in the proper position. If he put himself in the proper position. But at the same time, I want to see more than I want to see the front four. You know, I thought Hyder did very well. I thought he filled in well for what we thought Ford was going to be doing. But we didn't see Armstead that much as well, neither. So I want to see them guys. Be honest with you, I want to see them take advantage of the Jets' offensive line. I don't really care how many points we put up, but I don't want to see the
I
Jets
like
put up
that.
any points.
Shoot.
To be honest with
Maybe 3. I give him 3.
you,
Donuts.
right,
Serving donuts.
right.
That'll make a pretty big
Right.
statement too.
You
Like
know.
donuts without Sherman and some of the other guys on our defense.
Well, yeah, and
that would be a huge statement.
that's why I'm concerned because we saw cornerback we saw competition last year in our cornerback room, right? But it was healthy competition because we had healthy cornerbacks. Right now, our starting quarterback, our veteran cornerback, is down right now, and we're not really sure if Akello is ready to step up. So I believe there's reason for concern.
Okay.
You know what George Kittle did in the second half of that game was a little concerning as well too. So hopefully we see a totally different 49er team this week.
Yeah, man, I definitely understand your concerns, and you know it's okay to have those concerns when you're dealing with like injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're gonna come. You know what I mean? Really quickly, before you go on and get off out of here, what's your score prediction for this week? Because I know you said you didn't care, but I know you got a prediction in your head on how you see this game might go, and be realistic with it too. Don't be like me and be like 69-3. Be realistic.
Man, I've been trying to avoid this part of every segment this whole week, man. Oh man, because it always jinx me, man. But
Okay,
you know what?
if you feel that, then don't do it. I got you. You can say if you feel it's going to be a jinx, then say, you know what? I'd rather
I
plead the
see
fifth and
it's
not
at
answer that
least
question.
10 points. I see it's at least 10 points. You know, if anything less than 10 points, I'm not satisfied. And
So we're gonna
that's
win by 10. I got you. Okay.
yes.
I
Yes.
can dig that, man. Listen, IB, we appreciate you for being on. We appreciate you for being a faithful. We
Hey,
appreciate you just point blank, period, man. We got so many people we got to get to. But we truly thank you
likewise,
for being
man.
on here, brother. And keep and
I
stay faithful,
appreciate it
bro.
as well.
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
you already
Be
know,
cool,
man.
bro.
Y'all have a good one.
All right,
Yep.
brother. Peace out.
All right. Peace.
All right, listen, I got a bunch of slew of callers that we got to get into. I got some people waiting here in the chat, so I'm going to do our live people, and then I'm going to get to some of you guys that called in. I'm going to read some of these text messages, guys, that you sent. I promise we're going to get to all of them. But my man, Shan Club NFL, my brother Nick is here, man. We're going to bring him in, and guess what? We're going to get his take on how he feels we're going to do against the Jets. Nick, what's going on, baby?
Yo, Breezy.
Yo, what's going on, Nick?
Kev.
Yo, man, you've had a killer show this morning, man.
Speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Long
trying
time
to
no
kill it
speak.
over at the Shank Club NFL.
You're
I
doing
want
a
to do
great
more.
job.
Want to do more Niners content, but unfortunately, my co-host is a Steelers fan, and
Hey,
yeah, I could just do Niners shows all day, man.
Hey, you got to do what I'm doing, yo, because I felt like I'm doing broad stuff as well, but I feel like I'm leaving our Niner faithful out. So I got a whole different thing I'm doing on Sundays called Sizzling Sundays that Niner fans are going to be able to come on and whip up some tailgate food, and they're going to take on their opponent. So I'm going to give that to the Niners, all right? So they're going to be able to do something. But I'm sure you got plenty of ideas. Listen, I want to ask you this question that we just asked our boy IB, man. So, like, give us your rundown, man. How do we attack this Jets defense? Because they like to stop the run. Greg Williams wants to take away the run. How do we attack this defense?
You know what? I think Greg Williams goes back to Bountygate, etc., and we're still mad at him, bro. You know, we're still mad. Mostert, all the running backs are going to get involved. I liked what I saw from Jet last week. I thought he was, for someone that's been out for 2 years, I thought he played a really, really good game. And I just don't think we're not going to be a run first team. I think we're going to do play action, spread, get the running backs out, spread it. And, I think we make Greg Williams look silly tomorrow. I'm not going for a 10-point win like the last guy that was on. But I'm really interested to see how I think we're going to do a lot of spreading. So to me, I think that's how we're going to beat this team.
So you're saying this game is going to be Jimmy G coming out party?
I've watched last week's game about 4 or 5 times, and I still put my head in my hands some of the plays he made.
Kev, that's not fair, Kev. Don't laugh. That's not fair.
But I still believe it. Jimmy G is still my guy. He's still my guy.
Thank you.
You can all hate in the chat.
Yeah, I still rock with him.
You can say whatever you like, but there's a reason why we paid this guy, and it's not. A lot of money, but it's not because he was Brady's
It was a lot of money when we first did it, guys. Now it's looking like chump change compared to what these other quarterbacks are getting. But I think Jimmy G on the mid range of getting paid. But that's just my thought. It was a lot of money when we first signed him. We were like, okay, this could be our guy. And then Aaron Rodgers got signed, Russell Wilson got signed, Jared Goff got signed, and then Jimmy G money just started to go. You know what I'm saying? So we do
but
expect.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Sorry, Breezy.
No,
do you think Jared Goff is better than Jimmy G?
It depends. No, it straight up depends. Do I think he's a better quarterback? No, but I do think he's better at rolling out. I think he's better at getting quick throws out on that rollout on them bootlegs, and probably just because we don't see Jimmy G do it. Jared Goff, that's how they're successful in the Rams offense. The Rams look dangerous after week 1. We look, I'm not going to say subpar because I don't think we're subpar, but we look suspect.
We look suspect. We look suspect. Right? We don't set up Jimmy like the Rams set up Goff. We've all seen Goff trying to be in the pocket, and he's not a pocket passer. He has to roll out to be successful. And I think Jimmy needs to work on climbing the pocket and see. We've all seen the videos that have been put out that he's missed players and he's done this and he's done that. And I think it's a lot to do with the fact of that pass to Kittle. I think that really scrambled his brain.
We talked about that. We definitely talked about it. Nick feels like he should be able to shake that off and keep it moving. It's hard, man. It's like, it's like you shoot your best friend in the foot. You're going to feel some type of way. You're going to feel different,
Wayne, not to cut you off, but the thing that I said about that is there were throws that were higher than that before.
Nah, that was the highest one. There was an off throw to Trent Taylor on a 3rd down, but that was the highest at that point. Listen, what's messing? I'm gonna tell you what's messing Jimmy G up, and then Nick, we're gonna ask you for your score prediction, and then I got to get to some of these callers. Brandon Ayuk is messing Jimmy G up, because Brandon Ayuk can jump like 50 feet in the air and catches balls. I had to say balls one time for our sponsors.
Balls.
Your balls will thank you. I promise, man. Manscaped, guys, make sure you grab those special packages and make sure you use our promo code. No, but I'm serious. Like Brandon Ayuk is able to just reach up and grab different types of passes from Jimmy. And I think Jimmy may have got a little bit accustomed to that because in this particular game, a lot of his passes were high, if you think about it. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm just saying Ayuk probably will make some of those catches. And on the George Kittle joint, had he caught the ball, he might have landed a little bit differently, but he didn't. You know what I mean? Jimmy threw him high. Jimmy threw him to get injured or whatever. And he didn't throw him to get injured, but I'm saying he ended up getting injured on that particular play. He came out of the game, but I'm not going to say that that's why he's hurt. I think that he got hurt because Budda Baker hit him in the nuts, and he landed differently on his leg when he came down.
More nuts. Seriously. More nuts.
It's all good.
Breezy.
Hey,
what's
Nick,
going on with these?
We got
nuts?
balls, we got nuts. And Alfred, what is going on, my man?
Yo,
Nick.
Can you teach? They want me to speak with a British accent, and I don't want to offend you if I try because mine's just horrible. But teach me how to say something.
Something.
That's too English. I'll do American English. Something.
Well, today, Master Wayne, we're going to be doing this.
Well, all right, Master Nick. Am I
Nick,
getting a little bit better?
That's actually not bad, Nick.
Oh, see, he didn't give me my prop, so I'm going to stop right there. All right, listen.
Do it again. I didn't hear you, Wayne.
No. It doesn't need to be done again. All right.
Yeah,
so
we
Nick,
don't need to revisit that.
See, he thought it was horrible. Cheerio. Can I say cheerio? No,
Look,
that's bad. I'm going to practice.
Cheerio.
I promise you I'm going to practice. All right, Nick, score predictions.
I'm going 27-10.
Nice. I felt like you read my notes, but now I got to change mine up.
I couldn't because it was all in American, and of course us British people speak differently and type differently. So I would
we don't
never
add
know
extra O's and extra E's and stuff and extra I's.
Recognizes with an S, not with a Z.
Right. We don't, that's old English. We're that new English.
Ye old English.
Look, Nick, we appreciate you for being on the show. Guys, make sure you give him a follow, man. He didn't put the @ symbol in front of his name, but follow
make sure you guys follow and like shop.
Because his show is on freaking point, yo. And you can catch it every Saturday early in the morning here, which is probably his afternoon, wherever he is in England. All right. So it's not nighttime because it don't look nighttime right now, right?
It is. It's it's quite late. It's I think 7:30, nearly ish.
It's that late.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, what is it? 11 hours?
No, 6 on the East Coast, 11 on the
West.
so
that's just a little bit. Okay. All right, cool.
From the West, 11.
We appreciate you for being on, man. We got to get to. I want to attempt one of these callers, all right? Because I've never done this before. So I'm excited. I'm anxious in getting this call through to see if it works. But Nick, we appreciate you, bro, and we're gonna see you later. After tomorrow, we'll see you on the Overreaction show, bro. I know that.
I'm there tomorrow, boys. Just send me the link tomorrow before the show.
Got you.
I'm down.
And don't be too drunk. All right. Got you.
No,
cheers.
No chance. I'm not going to be too drunk by about 6 o'clock.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Peace.
All right,
cheers,
Nick. I think I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I think I'm ready.
Why are you nervous? It's plugged into a board and you just make
but I've never done this before. All right, so y'all chillax. Let me do this. I got this. All right. So I'm gonna call whoever I felt like is in red. So I don't know if we talked to this you know what? I know this person and I know we didn't talk to him.
There should be a little number next to it.
Whether
it's a text or a missed call.
Yeah, I mean there's a number. I got the number. I'm just talking about as far as who the person is.
No. I'm saying like there should be a circle. Like if you missed it, is a 1 in blue.
Yeah. We got that. I'm just saying I don't know. Okay, I get what you're saying. All right. Well, I'm calling this person because I know who he is. Let's see if it works. Is my junk hooked up Bluetooth?
Ohio State, huh?
It's on my stinking AirPods.
The Big Ten is back, baby. Let's
go.
Hold
Chris Olave is from San Diego, man.
I'm gonna call him back. Why is my AirPods connected? Let's take it off the AirPods. Oh, I wonder if this connected because it's this stupid piece. Bluetooth. I don't know, my AirPods were connected. So let's disconnect the AirPods.
I need to grab some merch too, man. I need to hoodie and a couple t-shirts.
Symmetry, get ready, man. I'm gonna try to call you, man, because I know you've been hanging in here.
Symmetry.
Bingo, motherfucker! Let's go!
Turn the volume up a little bit.
Symmetry, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
My dude, what's going on, baby?
What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. Thank you for calling. Thank you for being patient. You know what I'm saying? We trying to hook stuff up a little bit differently. We got it going in. Nick, can you hear it out there? Because I don't know what it sounds like out there. I'm sorry. Talk for us, Symmetry.
Can you guys hear me?
Nice, loud and clear.
Is that good? Yeah. It's all right?
It's perfect.
It's good.
Yeah, you good.
It's good, baby.
All right.
Cool. So, man, go ahead and spill your guts, man. You got 2 minutes. I want to hear what you got to say about what's going on, what we going to look forward to.
No pressure.
Well, everybody needs to relax, first of all. The game film from week 1 was not as bad as, everybody might be thinking. There was a few things that we have to correct. Obviously, as far as like the lineups are concerned and the different sub formations on defense, like I didn't like
I didn't like them taking Dre Greenlaw off on nickel and leaving Quan Alexander out there to fly around because he plays out of control sometimes. And I think Dre Greenlaw is at this point just a more sound football player than Quan Alexander at this point. So I would like to see Quan playing the Sam
more legendary
on base downs and Dre playing the Will spot on base downs and then take Quan off on nickel. That's just one thing that can make a difference on defense. Losing Richard Sherman, we lose the leadership in the backfield, but I think this is going to be a big opportunity for Jimmy Ward to step up and be a leader. He's the one with the most experience in that backfield. And I think he can handle that pressure. I think Jimmy Ward's a Pro Bowl safety, in my opinion. But, I know everybody's has their say about him, but I think he can handle this responsibility and kind of hold down the fort for some of the younger guys until, Richard Sherman comes back. The offensive line got to step up. That's really where we lose this game. That's really where we lost the game. The offensive line was piss poor, in my opinion, except for Laken Tomlinson and Trent Williams. Everybody else on the right side, including Mike McGlinchey, who everybody was saying had a great camp and was really improved this year. I was really disappointed in his performance, so he's got to step up. But we'll get back to it. This is a long season. Everybody needs to just chill out. Kyle Shanahan wasn't really running the football when he should have ran the football. Arizona was mimicking us on defense, and we didn't adjust in the second half. We were doing a lot of. I think Kyle Shanahan was calling plays to kind of respond to the narrative that he doesn't trust Jimmy G, and he put a lot of plays out there and put Jimmy G in positions of vulnerability that he didn't need to be. It was unnecessary. And like third down, running spread and stuff like that. We could have ran the ball. So we just need to go back to what we normally do, and we'll be all right. Everybody just needs to chill out. But anyways, I'm on the road. I love your show. I love all y'all. And tell Callie Young to get a haircut. Peace.
Yo, Tim, before you leave, I got one question. You still there?
Oh, he got off. He hung up, man.
Got off.
Yeah.
I had a question about him for the secondary, and Mike had pressed this question to us the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me, and I had put out a tweet about Ahkello Witherspoon starting, right? And this weekend saying this is his time. This is a good game to get your feet back under you. But I need to see that consistency. And then Mike said, well, is it? Is it going to be a good game for him? Because if he plays good, it's going to be, it was against the Jets. Mm-hmm. If he plays bad, it's going to be like, I told you he was trash. So is Ahkello Witherspoon in a non-win-win situation this week, in a bad situation this week for the fans, as in, if he plays well against the Jets, it's the Jets. If he plays bad, it's like, I told you he was garbage.
Listen, man, this is a game that he needs to be the best cornerback he's ever been to boost his confidence. He shouldn't give two shits what fans think. He needs to go out there and perform well, because if he's having confidence issues, this will help that. This will definitely help that, because this is a good jump start for him, man. Let him go out there, ball out. Dag nabbit. Let him go out there and just play as great as he can to let everybody know, to let himself know, that he is that guy. Go ahead, Kev.
Oh, I was scratching my head, but I don't care if we played against the Pee Wee team in New York. I want him to play well. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? People dog spoon, it's to the point they call him teaspoon instead of tablespoon, but he played well before he got hurt last year. You know what I'm saying? So what happened, confidence, whatever, if he can get back to pre-injury spoon from last year, we'll be fine. I don't care who it's against. Execute, play well. It don't matter who you play against as long as you execute. You play sound, fundamental football, I don't care who you play against. You know what I'm saying? So go out there and ball spoon. Hey, and the more cornerbacks you got balling, the better for us.
Yeah.
I got a question though. I heard y'all say something about Jimmy Ward can hold it down. Is he playing corner or something?
No.
Okay.
Symmetry meant from a leadership perspective, and that's something no one has talked about. That no one has talked about. We all expect Fred Warner to be a leader on the defense, but what about the secondary? Who's going to be the leader in the secondary with Richard Sherman being out?
He's been in there the longest.
But that's the thing. Like I want you guys still didn't answer the question.
Which
right?
question?
So the question about Spoon. So the question is.
Oh, okay.
The question is,
will the fans
not even just the fans, I mean just with Spoon in general, does he kind of have his back up against the wall?
No, absolutely not.
This week because of the fact of who the 49ers are playing, where Jamison Crowder's out.
No.
Not really. It's not a DeAndre Hopkins per se out there. Does this week give Ahkello Witherspoon, if he plays well, a boost of confidence in the fan base and himself, or does it not matter because it's the Jets?
Well, I'm going to say the comparison is like this, Nick. The comparison is, are you dominating against ones or are you dominating against threes? You see what I'm saying? So if he go out there and dominate tomorrow against the Jets, it's like, oh, what are you playing against like threes? Now, if he go out there and dominate, and actually dominates, and okay, you know what, now he playing some ball. But again, long as he plays well, I don't care. But to your point, though, yeah, it's going to be like, oh, it's only the Jets. Now, if he get out there, have a pick six, a forced fumble, and all that, okay, it's going to take a phenomenal performance, you know what I'm saying, for him to get out some of these people doghouse. So I get your point. And it sucks it's like that for him because, like, was only the Jets. I mean, well, damn it, listen. He damned if he do, damned if he don't to a degree. Just go out there and ball. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So that's my question as in us, right? Bam, he'd like disappeared like the witch of the east.
He hit it and quit it.
Yep. Pause. Look, no, and that's my thing, right? So look, I put out a tweet and I said Ahkello Witherspoon has all the talent in the world to be a great defensive back. And we've seen it. We've seen it from here or there. And then you go and to me, it's just that consistent play, right? So weeks 1 through 3, he was playing lights out. Now, was that a benefit of the pass rush? We're not sure, right? Because our week 1 through 3, our pass rush was playing dominant last year. And then he comes back, and then obviously an injury doesn't, week 3 gets an injury, doesn't come back, doesn't play again, and then isn't really playing the entire season. But Spoon has a hell of a lot of talent, right? So, to be able to be a defensive back in the NFL. I just need to see that consistency. Now, can he build? And that's what I don't want fans to go out there and say, look, if Ahkello Witherspoon comes out and balls out this week, I don't want to hear that, oh, it was against the Jets, because that's not fair. That's an NFL team, right? It's an NFL team. But now can he come back against the Giants and do the same thing? That's what I want to see from him, right? So I want to see the same play he has against the Jets. I want to see the same type of play confidence-wise and commitment-wise and consistency-wise as I did against the Jets, against the Giants, and then from the Giants to the Eagles, and then the Eagles to the Dolphins, or whatever have you. I want to see that consistency. So I want to make sure that fans aren't, hard on him this week if he has a really good game and say, oh, well, it was just the Jets. No, give the dude his props. He came out, he balled out, we won, and that's it. Right? So if that's the way that it's going to be, if you're going to bust his balls because, oh, damn, he couldn't cover the Jets, well, but like give him the props when he does cover the Jets. And that's what I want to see for Ahkello Witherspoon this week.
That's pretty much what I was trying to say. I thought I answered your question, but I guess I didn't, but I'm with you 100%. Listen, I want to get to a couple of more of these text messages about, another phone call or whatever. And then we go on and get up out of here, man, because we got some more stuff we're going to try to bring to you later on, where we can talk more about this game. All right. But this show is for you guys. So here's some questions. All right. How many sacks will we get against the Jets? Do we pin our ears back and just go? How many sacks do we get against the Jets? Oh, let's bring our boy Kev back in here because he's here. All right.
Yeah, hit the wrong button.
How many sacks do we get against the Jets, Kev?
5.
Nick?
I was going to go 5 also, but I'm just to be different, I'm going to go with 6.
Well, I'm going to go with 5, and I'm going to say that Javon Kinlaw records his first sack this week. Oh! I said it, and it's there on air, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
He looked good last week, man.
He had a couple of pressures, and he almost had a sack last week, which I predicted last week.
I'll tell you what. Look, I've been hard on Javon Kinlaw about his bull rush, right? About his bull rush.
Yeah,
and going back and watching the all 22 on him, his swipe is good.
He had a move, dog.
His swipe is good. His feet doesn't move, like stop moving. He has quick feet. His hand swipe was really, really good. Now it's not a double swipe like Nick Bosa's is that smooth, right? You can still see that it needs to get some work because it's supposed to work hand in hand, right? So hand and feet together. You can still see that little stutter that he has to get that swipe going. It's not all one motion. So, but he's got it. He's working on it. He's getting better, which is a good sign for the 49ers. It's a good sign. I wasn't expecting this guy to come out here and be a replacement or even give half of what DeForest Buckner did in his first game. Right. So, if you were thinking that, you're setting yourself up for failure. But yeah, I agree with you. I think he gets a sack this week. I think he gets a sack. I think Kerry Hyder gets 2 sacks this week.
Wow. I love it.
And I'm going to say Kerry Hyder gets 2 because of the fact that we don't know how many snaps D Ford is going to play. Right. So is he going to play a full game? Is he going to play limited? So I'm going to get Kerry Hyder on the outside, filling in for D Ford, and I'm going to give him 2 on the outside.
So that means is Bosa got the other 2?
Well, that's 2 for Bosa. That's 5.
Right.
And then
I'm 5 total right there.
But I said 6, so I'm going to go with.
Okay, yeah,
I'm going to go with a K'Wan Williams blitz for the other one.
Okay. Hey, we should really, and I tweeted about this. We should really have like a running clock in youth football by halftime. We should go out there and dominate this team defensively.
This should be a Green Bay Packers blowout. That's what it should be. An NFC Championship, Green Bay Packers type blowout. Like that's what it should be.
Whereas most are not playing, right?
No, Mostert is playing.
Oh,
then he's gonna be out, go handle the birth of his baby, and then I think he's supposed to come back to play the Giants too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's the plan. That's the tentative plan.
Hey, that could be a nice little duo right there. Most of the Jet, they were talking about. Yeah, they're talking about Chubb and what's up boy name Cleveland? Chubb and
Hunt. Chubb
and Hunt. Man, I'm telling you, the Jet and Mostert could boy.
I don't think it's. I think they're 2 total. I mean, obviously they're 2 total different running backs. But I just don't see the Chubb Hunt mixture in with Mostert and Kidd and McKinnon. Yeah, McKinnon, because I think they're just 2 total different backs. I mean, our guys are more speed, shifty type guys. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb will just run you over. They're just bullies.
I wasn't putting them up there. I saw that.
No. I know.
Okay.
No, I'm saying I see a different type of running back by committee there with those 2, as in speed, shifty guys, able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Not that Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt can't, but those dudes are just bullies. They're just going to bully. And obviously they were playing against Cincinnati as well, so that defensive line is really poor. But we'll see. But Wayne, what else you got?
Yeah, man, we're gonna get to this phone caller. This is my man Jim Brody, and I'm just gonna try to give him a call and see if he'll pick up. All right. Let's see how this works. Let's see if it works. Now, it's weird because I felt like I'm already in a call with him. Wait a minute. Did it connect me back to my stupid headset? It's like it's not letting me call him. Let me make sure that my stupid AirPods are on. That's the one thing I hate about the AirPods. Nope, they're off. I'm going to restart this app because it's weird. And we're going to log back in and we're going to call him again. All right, here we go.
So symmetry. Are you good?
Yeah.
Yo.
Jim Brony.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
What's going on, baby? What's good?
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, I like my man Kev's analogy, man. That was good.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Appreciate that. Hey, I got a question for you. I mean, like, honestly, like, my thing is like, it's not talked about a lot, but I feel like when we were going through this week, nobody really talks about it a lot, but we didn't have practice like Arizona had, right? Because of the air quality.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that could have affected the offense kind of sputtered. You know, it just didn't look crisp. And a lot of that is, I mean, I obviously feel like Jimmy be holding on to the ball too long, right? He looked very robotic. It goes back to kind of what Kevin was saying. He looked very robotic, you know, and he looked like, I actually don't feel like the offensive line played bad. You know, I think overall as a unit, you know, I think they played good. I think he just held on to the ball too long, you know, and we got a lot of issues with that. And I think part of that is based off of the lack of practice. And I know, like, when you guys had Eric Davis on, he mentioned that, you know, it's go time when, you know, it's the first game of the season. But I think that's something that could have affected us that first week. I don't think we have anything to worry about. I don't think we need to push the panic button. I would like to see us come out like, you know, 5-1 after these shitty games that we're playing coming up. I mean, shitty teams. You know, but I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on all that?
Yeah, it's funny. Someone mentioned that I can't remember where I heard it. They did talk about the air quality and the lack of practice, and that might been, you know, a reason. But you know what, man? They came out on fire, right? At least that's what I saw. All right, they came out on fire. The first drive, they got the ball, they got 3 points, and then a couple drives later, they were able to get a touchdown in there with that one pass or whatnot. Then they just couldn't convert on third down. I don't. That could be a reason why guys were like really gassed toward the end of the game because of the air quality. You know, you could factor that in there. Whereas Arizona kind of practiced all the way to the day, you know, before they had to travel to come out here to the game, so they probably were able to get a little bit more in. So you do have to factor that in. You do have to factor it in. We can't sit there and leave it out. But, you know, I think that the 49ers just took their foot off the gas, bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, to me, on the offensive side, I don't think they were running plays that we knew, that we saw, that worked. I think they were just trying stuff. I think it was a preseason type setup. Hey, man, we're going to try this formation, just so we can see what we're working with, and we'll figure it out as we go along. It's a game of chess. Hey, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, I agree with you, but I think it's also I think that's exactly what was happening with Kyle's playbook, right?
Okay.
Like, he was trying some things, like the first time we've seen McKinnon in 2 years,
Yep.
right? Or first time we've seen him, you know, on our team. And then I think that he was trying things out and trying to get a little creative, but I think that our main concern going forward, I mean, that's why I said I hope we could get through these lightweight games or lightweight teams that we're playing coming up here, because I think the biggest issue is if you watch last year, how the creativity of Kyle's playbook was based upon Debo. Like, if you take Debo, you stripped him last year, what do you got? You know what I'm saying? Like, you pretty much got what you saw week 1.
Yeah. He was able to work magic. Once they acquired Emmanuel Sanders, it looked like the defense was going to have to shadow him or double him or do whatever they was to him, because Jimmy could throw balls to spaces and he would be right there. But then now we can be creative. We could run these end arounds. We can do these type of things with Debo out of the backfield. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, we need to get him back in there because he's like a running back / receiver. You know, so you could do all those, like, you know, bootleg. And Jimmy needs to roll out more, man, because he is not comfortable in the pocket. Like, that's the biggest thing that I've noticed, that if you watch, like, that Saints game, like, if you watch all the games that Jimmy G, when he's rolling out, he seems to be more comfortable when he's rolling out. Like, he gets a chance to get away from the D line. He gets a chance to kind of view the field. He could see more of the field, like, it seems like. So that's another thing that I see when it comes down to, we just need to improve that, you know, and we need to get Debo back.
Okay. All right.
I think a lot of those.
That's all I got to say, man. I just want to say hi to you. I appreciate everything you guys do, man. I watch you guys all the time. I watch replays of you guys, man. I think you guys do awesome. I love, like, the I love the way you guys break down like film, and like you guys are genius when it comes to this, and you keep that Niner faithful alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Thank you. We appreciate your call, man, and stay faithful and make sure we tomorrow we're gonna have a great overreaction show. I can feel it.
Oh yeah, I'll be in there, man. You know me. I'll be throwing you guys some cash and busting up with some good comments. You know, I love you guys, man.
We love you
Take
back,
care
baby.
Of yourself.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. You know, I think a lot of the thing with not rolling Jimmy Garoppolo out in week 1 is our offensive line is banged up. And they're not
and
the right side. And a lot of those rolls go to the right side to throw, right? So
that's a great point, Nick. Great point.
So I think that's why we haven't really dug into the playbook as in rollouts and things like that. You know, but to his point, man, he said a lot of great points, you know, with the air quality and the practice and things like that. Look, like I said earlier, man, it's week 1, right? And you know, if this offense would have came out and put up 30 points, like I'd be happy as hell. But I also wouldn't have expected that, right? Because of the fact of the defense we're playing is a divisional game. They're always close games. They're always, you know, always right there with, you know, those teams are always competing back and forth. Mm-hmm. And the practice could have had a little bit of an effect on it. I agree with him on that portion, but you also got to remember that all these teams haven't really practiced, right? And look, when you're I agree with you a little bit, Wayne, on it could have been air quality, you know, the AQI that could have had guys a little more gassed, but when you're that bad on third down and your defense is just back out there and back out there and back out there and back out there, they're going to be gassed. It doesn't matter how athletic they are, right? And the AQI on top of that with breathing, it's like playing in Denver, right? Some of these guys just aren't used to that air quality, right? So I agree with him at certain aspects and things like that. And I just wanted to touch a little bit on why I think the Niners aren't doing that rollouts right now is because of the offensive line. And I think it's just, you know, they weren't sure until week 1 who was going to be at center, who was going to be at guard. We all didn't know, and I'm sure they didn't know until 2 days prior, you know. And you go in with a game plan of who you think you're going to have, and if you get somebody different, you're hopeful, then you go from there. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if we see more rollouts this week.
Most definitely. Listen, we got one more caller we're going to get to. They've been waiting for a long time. Wow. So hopefully they're still there. We're going to give them a try. And if not, I think there's one more caller after that, but we're going to try to do one more. And then we're going to get up out of here, get some lunch, grab some food. You know what I'm saying? Watch some more film.
Hey,
you know,
I'm hungry as a hostage, bro.
Whew. And then we'll come back, you know, hit you guys with a doubleheader later on, I hope. All right, so let's get to this call right here. It's ringing.
You have reached.
Okay. So they were waiting for a long time. So let's try this last caller.
Like we don't want to be a millionaire.
Hello? Am I hearing? Hello? You are on Nothing But Niners podcast. We can hear you. How are you?
Doing good, man. What's going on?
Nothing
How y'all
but
doing?
we doing great, man. We sitting here just breaking down the game, chopping it up with you guys, man. And we can't wait to hear your take on what's going on. Like with you, how you feel about what's going to happen tomorrow?
Man, I feel we're gonna bounce back, man. I really believe, like, well, first and foremost, let's not overreact of the loss of last week. I just feel like we just had a couple of hiccups, you know, some kinks that needed to be sorted out. I believe all of it is sorted out, and I believe we can bounce back and win this game against New York. You know, it's great that we have, you know, these first few games are pretty good winnable games. To build the team's confidence up, to build Jimmy G's confidence up. But I mean,
I really want to address the issue, the elephant in the room, and it's the receivers, man. Don't get me wrong, Jimmy G, he has to do better, and I believe he will do better. But I believe that Trent Taylor, I understand Trent Taylor hurt his foot, and it's going to take some time for him to get back right and whatnot. But I really feel that with him and Pettis, man, I feel like right now, Jimmy don't trust him right now, and especially Pettis. I mean, Pettis just don't have that dog in him at all. I mean, I really feel that way. I believe KD, Ayuk and Jimmy G has been having a good connection at training camp. So I believe that can transfer into the game. I believe Jimmy can depend on Ayuk. I believe he can depend on Bourne. I believe, hopefully him and Sanu, if Sanu plays tomorrow, I really believe that Jimmy and Sanu may have a quick connection. I mean, I don't expect Sanu to come in and just be all over the field. I really believe he can play that Anquan Bolden role where he can be a possession receiver. Keep the drive going, all the way down the field. Keep getting us first down. But we do need Debo back, and I hope and pray that when he gets back, he'll be good. He's good. He won't have any setbacks. But I really think that they need to try to bring Juwan Jennings off the practice squad. Put him in there. I mean, because with Pettis, you can't depend on him. You can't depend on him at all. And that's just something that needs to be addressed. And as well as Trent Taylor. I believe get Kevin White a shot. I believe you put Juwan Jennings and Kevin White in there. I believe they'll put in more effort, than what Pettis and Taylor is doing. I really believe that. And also Jordan Reed. Kyle's gonna have to get Jordan Reed more snaps. He's gonna have to keep building up his reps throughout the season. We can't be conservative with him all season long. I understand he has those concussions and whatnot, but Kittle is out tomorrow. And this is a good chance to give Jordan Reed some more snaps. Building up his confidence as well because we all know he's a playmaker. So I really think that Kyle should build his reps up, further down, in the season. So, we can have another weapon on our hands, which he is a weapon. So I just want to see what you guys think. I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate what y'all do, man. And
for sure. Hey, who are we speaking with, by the way? The connection was funny. Who are we talking to? What's your name?
Oh, this Will, man.
Got you. That's what we thought. Everybody was guessing. No, this Will. I'm like, I guess if you say this, you know what I mean? But we appreciate you for calling in, Will, man. And get ready for that game tomorrow, baby.
I'm ready, man. Let's get it, man.
Let's go.
Beat the Jets.
1-1, baby. I love it. I love it, man. You stay up, stay faithful, baby.
All right, y'all too, man.
All right, peace out.
Peace out.
All right, man.
I'm saying 34-6.
34-6. So we say that for tomorrow. But listen, he has some interesting points, and I know Nick looks like he wants to speak on some of his points. So go ahead, Nick, take it.
No, I want to hear what your points are first, and I'll fill in.
So he talked about the wide receivers, and it's hard to argue. You know what? Freak that. Will, I'm with you. You know what? These wide receivers need to show more mother freaking effort. I don't give a how much they get open. If I throw the ball to a space and you don't make effort to go out there and grab it, then what's the point? Like, what's the point? And that I've been fighting with these wide receivers for the longest, and this does not mean that they're not good, right? This doesn't mean that they can't be great. But you got to have some effort. You got to show some effort. Listen, Dante Pettis, we love you, bro. But maybe that's just where it ends, man. If you're not ready to play football, if you're not willing to just give the effort, because you can get open. Let's keep it a buck. Dante Pettis can get open. That's what he does. He can get open. But quarterbacks are told to throw certain passes to certain spaces. And if Dante Pettis isn't like, it's not like that ball was far away. He could have made a dive in attempt. He could have at least reached his arm out. He could have did better. But I just think that the wide receivers got to show more effort. And I think that was his point. I think that's what it was. It wasn't that they're not bad. He didn't mention them not getting open because there's clearly film showing that they can get open, right? But I just think that they lack effort. And that's why Nick said this, if Debo was playing, he would have went up and got that pass. Or if Debo was, because of effort, right? Effort. And that's why Kyle said not every pass is going to be perfect. So not every catch is going to be perfect, but it damn sure will look pretty if you go up there and reach out and give your quarterback a chance to get it. This is not looking for, excuses for Jimmy G. He has to throw the ball better. Nick.
Look, as a receiver, you're always taught if the ball's not to your location, come up and get it or go back and get it, right? Reach up, grab it. That's what I have an issue with the Kendrick Bourne play right now. Like I said, Kendrick Bourne has come a long way. I've given him props. I've given him, I've come a long way on Kendrick Bourne. Doesn't mean that he's not talented. He's come a long way. But in that certain situation, it's just the youth that didn't, but you've been playing this position your entire life. People are like, oh, well, he's young. He's only, he's a fourth receiver on the team. He's not supposed to be a number one. It doesn't matter. The position is the position. Like you're taught from a little boy,
youth level,
right? At 5, 6, 7 years old to whatever level you play at as a receiver, it's your job to go get the football. There's going to be bad throws. There's going to be tip throws. Their passes aren't going to always be there. But look, Kendrick Bourne acknowledged on his Twitter. He's like, this is on me. The next time I'm going to go up and get the football. And hopefully he learned from that. And he goes out and does that type of thing. Now, excuse me, that's not saying that we would have won the game, right? Obviously, we would have been up. We possibly could have won the game. But look, where he said with Juwan Jennings and Kevin White, and
I wanted to hear Kevin's perspective before you go into that, because I want to end with that because that was a good point too.
In terms of KB making a better effort for the ball.
I think it was his argument. He just felt like that the wide receivers lacked dog and they didn't show effort.
You know what? And some of y'all out there may not agree, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I really think that people say that as a means not to dog Jimmy or not to put the blame on Jimmy. And I mean, and that's cool. I mean, if you watch the play again, he was running a 9, so he was running full speed. Now, once he turned around and saw the ball was short, and actually, if I'm not tripping, didn't the ball hit him in the face mask?
The ball hit Adrian Peterson, I believe, in the helmet.
Patrick Peterson.
I think it bounced off. I saw a still shot. The ball was coming
because it deflected.
Hit his helmet. His hands were down here though, and that's the thing.
And that's what I'm saying.
He was trying to
attack the ball
instead of going up and getting the football and catching it with his hands.
Look, as a coach, I'm a DC now, but I started as an OC. I preach attack the ball at its highest point. Yep. It's just that simple. Don't let the ball come to you. Go get it. Right. And it was a bang bang play. And like I said on my video, a better pass that situation doesn't present itself. But in that situation, attack the ball. And can we give Debo some credit? Debo and just the year he's been here has spoiled us.
I think that's what it was.
It's crazy how differently we look and play without Debo out there.
I think we expect all our wide receivers to be Debo. I think that's
teams
what it is.
Play differently without Debo. I mean, just Debo on the field. Debo could be on crutches out there, but with him on the field, it's a whole different look. It's a whole different approach. So go ahead.
No, because George said that KB was falling, but why? If you got your man beat, why are you falling? Why are you falling? That's my question. You got your man beat. We're saying that Kendrick Bourne beat Patrick Peterson. We're saying that, but the ball was underthrown. So why the f is he falling? You shouldn't be falling.
Look. I'm gonna tell you,
did he trip?
And I know y'all, it's gonna freak y'all out, but in my smaller days, I play receiver, and I'm telling you, as a receiver in that situation, once you run at full speed and you turn around, see the pass is short, it takes a certain kind of receiver to kind of make that transition from running straight to kind of just trying to go up after the pass. So and you're right. He tried to basket catch it. I'm like, nah, attack the ball. Don't wait for it to come to you.
Even if he couldn't attack the ball because, like you said, he was running full speed, his thing should have been try to come to a complete stop and face the ball, even if you don't attack it. Right?
Listen to what you just said. He running
I said
full
try.
speed.
I said try. What he did was he was falling, reaching out for the ball, opposed to just cutting, turning around in the end zone and facing the ball. And that's what we see Kendrick Bourne do. Who cuts on the field and stops on a dime better than Kendrick Bourne? That boy, Kendrick Bourne can run, and I'm not comparing this guy to him and whatsoever. You saw how Hopkins was running, cutting, come back. That's Kendrick Bourne can do those type of routes.
Yeah.
What's that, Nick? I can't see it. It's I can't see it.
All right, look, it's the team coming out in Jersey.
Oh, they going to practice? They here.
After practice. Yeah, this is after practice in Jersey.
All right, guys. Confirmation, man. This team is ready to ball out. Listen, this was a great show. Before we get on up out of here, he definitely mentioned Jawan Jennings, and I know Nick wanted to say something about Jawan Jennings. I believe I'm gonna go ahead, Nick. Say something about Jawan Jennings and Jordan Reed.
Look, I mean, the kid is a rookie, right? So we're talking about Jawan Jennings. Like, he mentioned Kevin White as well. Will mentioned Kevin White as well. Look, Kevin White is probably one of the guys that can come in here and help, help this team where they were last week, right?
Can he?
Look, when you go into a game and your own coach says, I didn't game plan around the wide receivers,
then it wasn't
that
their
just
day.
shows you.
Yeah.
What's that?
It wasn't their day.
It just wasn't their day, right? And there's games like that. That doesn't mean that they don't have confidence in them. Now, like we've talked about this over and over again. The blame falls on Jimmy Garoppolo with some bad throws. The blame falls on receivers not going up to get the football. The offensive line not blocking. Look, I'm not worried about this team at all. And that's what it boils down to, right? Now, if Mohamed Sanu gets out there this week, cool, good. How much is he really going to come out here? Is he going to come out here and ball out for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns? Probably not, right? If you think that's what's going to happen week 1 of his chance coming in and playing just because he knows the offense, I personally don't even think Mohamed Sanu is active this week.
There's no way he's playing this week. I'm just gonna come out there and say that.
People
There's
keep
no way.
saying,
I thought it said he was playing.
No, he's with the team, but there's no way he's playing this week for the simple fact that if he does, he would be the 5th receiver on the wide receiver chart, on the depth chart, and I just think they go with 4 receivers again. I do, and if we do go with 4 receivers, who is he replacing? Trent Taylor, Dante Pettis, Brandon Ayuk, or Kendrick Bourne? Which one is he replacing? That's the question you got to ask yourself.
Look, Sanu may be active, but like I said, I think that the reason that Sanu isn't active is because of the fact of Ben Garland coming back and playing off of an ankle injury, and you're keeping Haranis Grasu on this team.
You want 2 centers out there. Yep, I got you.
That's the reason I don't think Sanu is going to be active.
I just don't think he's playing active because he's not. I don't think he's ready. This guy has one practice, Nick, and then got on the airplane, and now he's coming off the airplane right there in your video.
Right. Well, he practiced here in Jersey. He met the team here.
Right. Well, 2 practices then. One practice, Friday practice in San Francisco, and today's practice,
and then a walkthrough today.
Yeah.
So look, if he is active on the roster and we keep 4 or 5 guys, right? I'm going to say 5 receivers because I don't think they're going to deactivate Pettis, Ayuk,
Trent Taylor, Ayuk, or Bourne, right?
Or Bourne, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he plays a whole lot. I think he plays maybe 7 snaps, like just to get out there. Will he be a big factor this week? No. I think next week, that's a different story.
Okay.
But this week, that's my personal opinion, guys. I'm not obviously Kyle Shanahan.
Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute, though. Let's just keep it a buck. This secondary is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Shanahan got tricks, man. I'm telling you right now, and tricks are for kids. That boy's playing. This is going to be.
Now he's playing. Now.
Yeah, because it just dawned on me that their secondary is weak. And with a weak secondary, I mean, Jimmy G is gonna have a lovely day. A lovely day. A lovely day. Listen, I just wanted to touch on my thoughts on why Jawan Jennings isn't playing. And Nick said it's because he's a rookie, and that's definitely part of it. But here's the thing: he only knows how to play the slot. And you want him over Trent Taylor? A lot of people are gonna be like, yeah. But and I think that's what it is. The fact that he's a slot receiver right now at this stage in his career, and he's gonna be a guy that they're gonna try to develop. And God forbid he goes out there and balls out. I mean, plays out, wows out, do whatever, and then you can't put him back on the practice squad because somebody gonna snatch him up, right? So it's a strategic move to a reason why you probably won't see Jawan Jennings at all this year, and that's good for us because he's being developed, right? And he's going to turn into something that we're going to need because we might not be keeping Trent Taylor after this season. Ooh, I said it. All right, so Kev, you want to close this out, baby, or Nick, you got something else you want to add?
I mean, Forever Blessed says Sanders played immediately, so will Sanu. That's why we signed him. Emmanuel Sanders had a week full of practice.
I thought Sanu was going to play this week, to be honest. I did.
Look,
I swore he said he was playing this week.
Yeah, well, he's going to say that he's playing. Nobody. How many times has he said George Kittle would have been playing this week?
I mean, but why not play him though? I mean, especially if you don't have a pistol when you playing him.
Because of what Nick said.
You guys all think that because he knows this system from when Kyle was in Atlanta 4 years ago that this offense hasn't evolved.
It's different, and you've heard every player. That's
you even heard him
Kyle
say that his verbiage is different than what it was in Atlanta.
Yeah, you heard Trent Williams say it too, and he on the daggone line. He said it's different.
My thing here with this comment, Forever Blessed, is Sanders played immediately. He was here for a week. He had a whole week of practice. Mohamed Sanu got off a plane and met the team on Friday at the team facility where they're at and practiced and did a walkthrough and then had a walkthrough today.
Yeah,
he didn't practice.
Good point.
And I think he'll be limited. So he will play if they go 5 wide receivers. Guys, we went 4 last week. The only reason why I'm thinking we go 5 is because I think the weak secondary for the Jets. And because of that, this can be a reason to exploit more receivers in this particular game. So we might go less tight ends, 3 tight ends, 5 wide receivers.
The other thing is players are talking in here real quick. Playing the season without that knee brace is going to be different for Jimmy G. He should just wear it all the time. He already said that he's wearing it.
Yeah,
he had it on.
Yeah.
He had it on week 1. He already said that he's wearing it as an extra means of protection for him for the entire year. The brace should not be an issue. It's titanium. It's lightweight. It doesn't,
I get where I get where Clayton's coming from, though. It could sometimes when wearing stuff, it can be psychological, and I think that's his point. But Jimmy said he's wearing it, so he said it's part of who he is now. So
So look, man, look, this was a fun show, man. I like hearing from the fans. I love bringing the fan interaction shows, getting the guys in there, talking their shit, doing everything that they possibly can to show support for this team. So, big shout out to all you guys, Will, Symmetry, Jambroni. I don't even know who else called, right? Bob, George, Padilla, Kev checking in with us today.
Nick online, IB. Yeah, it was a great show.
So
man.
All of you guys, big shout out to you guys, man. This is why we do this. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Just make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you tell somebody about us as well. And look, it's gonna be a fun game tomorrow, man. But we gotta. This is a must-win game. This is a must-win game, and not because I want the Niners to win, but because climbing out of an 0-2 hole when you already lost a division game is very, very hard. So if we want to have a successful season, we need to start right now. We need to get that win, and we need to keep going on. So respect to all you guys, man. Much love to all you guys. I see Mike's jumping back in here now. So
I just wanted to say bye, man. I love y'all. I just wanted to say bye.
Yo, Mike, we had that calling thing working, baby.
I saw, man. I was watching from the road, man. Y'all held it down. Love it.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better coming through the soundboard. So, but yeah, guys, man, check us out. Hit that like and subscribe button. Check us out on FTFN. Check us out on Twitter, Snapchat, nothing but 9ERS. Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, Nothing But Niners, all spelled out. www.nothingbutniners.com. We will be back later tonight, possibly for another show, talking football, Niners football.
Let me know.
came out today, man. Love all y'all. And let's get out of here. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
Remain faithful.
Faithful.
We out of here.
Peace.